afternoon, and welcome, everybody. This would be the Jeff Cameron Show right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hope you're well. Thanks so much for tuning in to us. Started today on a Libations Friday. I want to say thank you for listening. I'm Jeff, that's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always. There you go. You can find the show when it concludes. If you miss portions of it today, go back, get caught up. We'll throw it up on iTunes. And we'll also have it on our audio vault on the webpage. Email us if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. And I think we're good. Let's get going. Let's go. It's a day removed from, obviously, some controversy. And this does seem to have turned in a positive direction for Florida State. And that's what dialogue can do. That's a good thing. They took a bad... they took a negative and they were able to turn it into a positive. Sounds cheesy. You hear phrases like that all the time when you're a little kid, but it's true and it happened, and I think Florida State will be better for it. So a decidedly better day or outlook for Coach Norvell and the kids on that team than we had going into the day yesterday. So it's how quickly it can happen, right? And it's that dialogue and it's the listening that takes place, and so good for them over there, and I'm eager. You know, I get that right now there are a lot of stories about sports and easing back into them, and the NBA getting started. We already know what the NHL is going to do, and we keep reading as sport after sport, league after league puts forth their plan of action of how to get re-engaged and either finish a season or start a season, depending on what sport you're looking at, and. I know that as that plays out, you think of all of the good things that go along with it, things that give you great joy, watching sports with friends and loved ones and being in attendance and getting back to some sort of normal way of living and all of that, because sports is a big part of all of that for us in particular. If you're listening to this show, you're a sports fan, but I do catch myself getting a little worried because we are beginning to see the reality here is that as folks do re-engage and as we do phase into another time in which we allow more and more people to enter restaurants or go to campuses or return to school, whatever it might be, you're going to hear about a rise in the numbers of those that contract COVID-19. It's already happened at Alabama with 5 players. And I just think that amidst all those positive headlines that, hey, look, the NBA is coming back. Oh, look at that. The NHL's figured it out. Oh, look at this. Whatever it might be, get ready. I think the wave of, oops, look at this. At Iowa, this many players tested positive. At Florida State, this many players. At Georgia, this many players. Those are the headlines as we take a sneak peek to next week, because that's what you're going to start to read.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even just the general headline, if you look at Florida's total amount of cases the last few days, it's risen. It was a little bit lower today than say, yesterday, but it's over 1,000 3 days in a row. And we just have to remember, I think, and I'm not trying to be political here, everything is these days, but the goal of this whole thing that we've done the last 3 months almost now, which is crazy to say, it's to flatten the curve.
Right.
It's not to reduce the caseload to zero. Like, that's impossible without a vaccine, and a vaccine that's 100% effective, which really doesn't exist hardly often anyway. But the idea was to get the curve down to where it's a manageable thing on our healthcare system. And if we have done that, do we have the stomach as a people, like the athletic directors and school presidents and conference commissioners need to have? There's going to be some problems because you're talking about a group of people at scale.
Well, and I think the answer is we do, Tom. I just think you're right. You have to define your terms and frame the discussion. You have to know what the effort was. You just pointed it out. That's accurate. It was never to eradicate. It'd be nice, but that's not reality. It was just flatten the curve to make sure that our those in the healthcare industry would be able to tend to those who need it, that there would be hospital beds available and medical care to be given. They wouldn't be overwhelmed. We've reached that place, hence the reason that, at least in this state, you begin to see the various phases happen where we are saying, okay, it's okay to return. You run a risk, of course, if you're starting to go to restaurants and obviously if we open schools back up, but that's a one that we're willing to take because we understand now that the numbers are where we needed them to be in order for us to safely return to our lives. That's not the case in every county, every city, or every state. I understand that. It's different everywhere, and you have to look at those things and decide accordingly, which is fine. But what sports and what college football is deciding is that we are balancing the economic disaster that would be not playing football, along with the safety concerns, with the positive that comes from playing, right? So you're looking back and forth, like, okay, we can't have that happen, but we also can't put kids in grave danger. So at what point are the numbers where we need them to be to say, we're green lighting this? That's what appears to be happening more and more. I just bring this up because as they attempt to do this, as kids begin to work out together, as they arrive on campus, as they begin to have meetings, as they begin to practice when that time comes, you're going to read the headlines daily that this player or this group of players on this campus here and over there tested positive. And you just have to be prepared for that. Because that's what they're saying. They're saying, we know this is going to happen. It's okay. It's not ideal. Nobody wishes COVID on anybody, but it's in that sense, I understand this is more severe than the flu, and you can't just be dismissive. But in the sense that we don't have a cure for the flu, we don't have a vaccination. I mean, we have things that help mitigate. You don't become overwhelmed when you find out a coworker has the flu. You're like, oh, well, Ted needs to keep his ass at home. Don't come to work with a fever and get healthy, and I hope you're all right and get the medical attention you need, and I'll see you when you're better. That's how we react to the flu. Mm-hmm. I think that we're eventually going to build to that here. There are at-risk groups that we have to take special care of, and they need to be very, very cautious. But amongst those that are not in the at-risk groups, you're going to say, oh, damn, did you hear Tom got COVID? That sucks. Hope he's okay. He's going to be at home quarantined for the next 2 weeks.
I think we'll get to that point when there is at least some sort of combo treatment that can lower the severity
of the symptoms.
And they could take away even that small percentile of people that are healthy and under 45 or 40 years old, and they can reduce that to near zero, like a 0% chance or 0.3%.
It's already less than...
I know. Well, I said 40, not 20 or I got college age.
Yeah.
Because there are enough examples. I'm not saying that it's, if you look at the bulk of the cases and deaths and you look at the cutoff age of 80 and 85, 65, 70, I mean, it's drastic. There's no doubt about that. I don't think it's quite there yet, but I hear what you're saying, and I think we are approaching something closer to that than we were, say, what we felt on March the 25th. There's no doubt about that, too. But, and I'm not saying this to you, but I would hope that is common sense to all administrators of any kind, of any business, be it a university or a business that has a large contingent of workers that need to be physically present, that you have anticipated that, yes, you're going to deal with some cases, and some of them are going to be severe, because that's the nature of putting people in close quarters with one another in the time of COVID.
Yeah, and as we read about them, the only thing I begin to think about, obviously you don't want anybody to get sick, but they're going to. It's going to happen. You have to have the stomach for it, as you said, and you just hope they get the medical attention they need. You hope that they're able to fight it. Obviously, we need testing. We need access to testing, rapid results. We need all of that to happen in order for the games to begin, as they say. But I also hope that the plan in place here, I want to hear this laid out. We've heard it a little bit in the NBA, 100 pages worth. We'll talk more about that later in the show.
That's going to be more outlined for the public consumption next week. Yeah. Once again, MLB had the damn chance to be the lead dog for this.
I'm going to go there because MLB has pissed me off yet again, and boy, do they make a habit of doing that. But God, for a sport I love so much, they are so poorly run. This is going to be interesting because you're going to have policies in place that are the same across the country for college football. Like, all the conferences have to have the same policies in place. I would be eager to know what they are. When is a game not played? When are teams forced to withdraw from that Saturday's event? What has to happen for that to be a reality? I hope. I want to be careful because I don't want to sound flippant or frivolous over people's health. I don't want us to be extreme alarmists here either.
Well,
if your backup quarterback tests positive and you are able to and you've been testing on a consistent and regular basis, meaning twice, 3 times a week, it doesn't mean the game isn't played. It means he's removed from the team, he's quarantined, he gets the necessary treatment he needs, and we move on and play the game.
Yeah, this is the 2 parts to the scale of the argument, right, that are always fighting with each other. One, that every life is precious. Of course it is.
Yeah.
And then the second part, which is it's not feasible to shut everything down to save every life.
Right.
It's not. I don't see the checks rolling in from Washington, D.C. every month or every 2 weeks, do you?
No.
So if that's not the case, then this is what we need to do. We need to find a way to navigate the waters in between to make sure we don't all go poor while we're waiting on this, while we're waiting on the scientists to do what they do.
What universities will do if they do not play football. That is a fact.
So when you're talking about health policies at scale, you are going to sound flippant, but it's the nature of the big boy and big girl conversation.
Well, that's the classic comparison to wars in areas that you have to take and the loss of life and the percentage is gauged. Okay, I'm going to lose this many men to take that hill, and is it worth the risk?
But to that end, I think the discussion has to be about percentage of team personnel and players, but then also percentage of campus positive tests.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
It has to be at 2 different levels.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's why I say, again, I understand that this is a much bigger deal than whether or not a football game is played. I understand on the grand scheme of things that's true. But I'm also a realist and pragmatic.
Here's what I'd also suggest, and I wonder if the NCAA would allow for this, and I wonder if the media would be okay with it. Public, what would it be? Approval rating, whatever. Would players be allowed to take solely online classes? Or do they have to? Let's just say that you've got a hybrid class for the general attending kids, right? The student body. That they go to class physically once a week or twice a week, and they alternate it with online. So you have that hybrid format. A lot of universities are going to be enrolling kids in the fall doing just that.
Yeah.
There's a hybrid approach. There is some physical instruction with distancing and spacing, but maybe you're in like group 1.
Yeah, you're there on Mondays and Wednesdays,
and then
the
group 2 is
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Right. Would it not be prudent in this instance for athletes to gain a special designation that say that they're just online the whole time in order to reduce the potential
the risk
for
factor
exposure?
for them is that much greater than the general population at a school. General population sounds like a prison. Sorry, the enrollment.
The general enrollment. Yes.
It's a school, right?
Yeah, not student body. That's high school enrollment. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, these are the plans I'm interested in hearing laid before us. I want to know what they're going to do. I think we already know they're going to play. Now I want to know, okay, what are we doing to mitigate the risk? I want to hear these plans, and I want to hear them soon. I mean, we're going to need to know what they are because they're going to start practicing.
Yeah, about 6 weeks from now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I think that's the next wave. When we're talking about headlines we're going to read next week, and I was saying, at the outset, get ready to read that this many student athletes have tested positive upon returning to campus for voluntary workouts. That's just more of a, hey, everybody, heads up. You're going to be seeing these headlines, and it's not good that somebody's contracted COVID, but it's also not the end of the world. They are able to separate them and get them the treatment that they need. They're going to be okay. The statistics tell us they're going to be fine. Okay, good. Now let's proceed and make sure that they're safe and the players that don't have it are also safe, and we move on. Just don't want to be an alarmist in that case.
Right, but that does feel uncomfortable. Even the way you say that. They're going to be fine. I'm like, are you sure? Because anecdotally, we get hit over the head with the outliers.
But yes, and those are outliers indeed, and it's important to remember that.
But it's hard. I mean,
well,
tell that to the family of the outliers.
Dead. I know that. Yeah, we're going to have you. That is not going to be easy. Look, it seems to me reasonable to not only just, take a look at the numbers and the statistics, and people aren't just statistics. I know that. They're human beings. It's a life. I got it. It seems reasonable to me by looking at those numbers, even as small a percentage as it is for people who pay the ultimate price for contracting COVID, right? In the age group that we're talking about, less than 1%.
Yeah.
Less than
college-age athletes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's not zero. So, as we've talked about before, one of those kids is going to die. Sucks.
And if not an athlete, then
somebody is going to
college kids.
That's right. Somebody's going to die from this, and it's brutal. That's horrible. Shudder to think. It's going to be a reality, and the world's going to move forward, and they're going to continue to play. And you have to be capable.
Right. Yeah, arguing about what should be versus what is.
Right.
I'd be cool if the government was, ready to just send us some checks.
Yeah.
Everybody in the country based upon what they've earned.
Right.
And, okay, I'll wait this thing out. That ain't going to happen, man.
No, that's not going to happen.
And they're not going to make businesses whole for doing that either.
Mm-mm. So get ready to watch football and get ready for kids to contract COVID. It's going to happen. And you've got to be, and I have a suspicion because of the way this has progressed, I have a suspicion that we're going to be even more comfortable a month from now. We're going to feel better about where we're headed a month from now. That's kind of happened since we flattened the curve. Not every story you read to start your day about this issue is a good one. Not everyone has a happy ending. Not everything is hunky-dory because we haven't rid ourselves of this just yet. The country has not collectively found a way into herd immunity just yet, but mostly we're moving in a really positive way.
Well, how could it? But yeah,
right.
It's not a good thing that we're more comfortable with it, but it's the world.
Right.
It's the world.
Yeah.
And it sucks sometimes.
Whew, does it? This week has been a brutal week. It's the Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Before it's too late, AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping has been providing tree inspection, trimming, and removal in our community for over 30 years. Call AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping at 385-3319.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
With a Bojangles 3-piece Chicken Supreme snack, you get a plate of bold, boneless chicken and a hot, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit for just $3.99. Or, if you'd rather 2 pieces of bone-in fried chicken with a biscuit and a fixin', don't you worry, because that's $3.99 too. It's such a good deal, you can knock out dinner and balance your budget in one fell swoop. Because if you're going to take out 2 birds with 1 stone, they ought to be delicious. Bojangles. It's bow time.
The Florida Lottery has awarded nearly 900,000 Bright Future scholarships and counting. That means Bright Future scholars are everywhere.
They are doctors,
teachers,
scientists,
even artists.
They are shining in every field imaginable. And every day, more students are preparing for their moment in the spotlight. With Bright Futures and the Florida Lottery.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com or download the Babbel app and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Not all law firms are equal, so here's why Fonville Lewis Mesher McConaughey was recently voted Tallahassee's best law firm.
First, we only take real cases. If your car was barely bumped and you think you're going to get rich, we're not the firm for you. We limit our practice to serious cases with legitimate claims. Second, we only take cases involving real injuries. If you know you aren't hurt but think you can fool your way into a quick settlement, we're not the firm for you. We encourage our clients to heal up and get better, not sit on the couch and expect a windfall. Third, we don't want clients who are just in it for the money. If the very first thing you think of after getting hurt is calling pound something or other on your cell phone instead of calling 911, we're not the firm for you. Your health should always come first. And finally, we won't blow smoke about a big money outcome just to get your case. Other firms overpromise and underdeliver. Our only promise is that we'll work harder than anyone to get you the best result. Remember, the law firm you have representing you makes all the difference, so don't settle for less. Call Fonville, Lewis, Messer, McConaughey, and let us put our reputation to work for you.
AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319, that's 385-3319, or online at AAATreeExperts.net, AAATreeExperts.net.
The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. Learn how living in the Orange Zone will lead you to a more healthy and vibrant life today. And head to OrangeTheoryFitness.com.
By the way, NCAA has hit Oklahoma State men's basketball with a postseason ban. We'll see that every day. Following a federal investigation trial that we talked about at the time. Obviously, this was a big to-do. Now we're finally seeing some of the fallout here. They will not be eligible for the 2021 NCAA tournament. The Cowboys penalty, perhaps a sign of things to come for the other schools involved with and enveloped in the federal college basketball corruption trial. I wonder, the NCAA announcing today that they've received, Oklahoma State has, that ban for the 2020-2021 season, 3 years of probation, scholarship reductions, that's always the biggie. Losing scholarships is crippling. And recruiting restrictions, the penalties come after they were one of the teams named during the federal investigation into college basketball. They're also the first penalties to be handed out to any team in the probe. They received their notice of allegations from the NCAA in November. Their former associate head coach, Lamont Evans, had admitted to accepting bribes to direct players to his previous employer, South Carolina, and then to Oklahoma State. He worked at South Carolina until 2016, moved to Oklahoma State, was fired by OSU in 2017 after he was arrested in that investigation. And he gave up the ghost. Let him know, yes, I was taking money, and I was then funneling players to this here school. The NCAA says, you got a problem.
There's also a potential problem for LSU. I don't know if you saw this, but Dick Vitale was trying to dip his toe in the water of breaking news, saying that sources tell him that the hammer's about to be dropped on the LSU basketball program, where head coach Will Wade has been implicated.
Yes.
And cut some corners, maybe through words of his own, maybe through just whispers. But that's important because Moussa Cisse, the Florida State target.
Yes, I was just about to go there. He was looking at LSU.
He was looking very hard at LSU, and maybe he was a heavy lean because something was on his shoulder, draped over his shoulder, a big bag of sorts.
Yep.
And now you've got to think twice about it. Moussa Cisse today said he is delaying his announcement. It was supposed to be this week. And it was because of the heavy times we're living in. Maybe it's that, and maybe it's a combination of that, plus LSU is under heavy scrutiny as a basketball program.
You're damn right they are. Moussa, it's not going to work for you at LSU. It was always going to be the right decision to come to Florida State. This just serves to further illuminate that. You know where you need to be. It's right here in Tallahassee. Speaking of which, you get to play for a great man like Leonard Hamilton, who, if you haven't seen his words transcribed by Adrian Adelson, I should say.
Andrea Adelson.
Andrea Adelson. What did I say, Adrian? Good Lord, get it together, Cameron.
Louis Anderson.
Anyhow, that story, I tweeted her story out. I just...
had it!
I didn't know how many people had come across that. I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity to read it. and you should, because it's great. He always is. And powerful.
Andrea has penned, or I guess keyboarded, a lot of powerful things from Leonard over the last couple of years. They've forged a good bond together, and typically when she releases something that is involved with Leonard, in this case, it's Leonard's own first-person thoughts that she puts together.
Right.
Usually it's very powerful and meaningful stuff, and this is no exception.
I think he's not only a wise man who's been around and has a lot to say on the current issues and a lot of things in general. I mean, I've been fortunate enough to talk to Leonard Hamilton a lot over his career here and talk to him about any number of things, mostly basketball related, but not all. And you always come away somewhat enlightened. He's usually a guy that other coaches at the university have described to me, other coaches in other sports, as the smartest guy in the room whenever they have their discussions about certain policies within the program or programs or athletic department. So it's not surprising to read that, once again, he said a lot of insightful things, but opportunity there to check in. It is powerful. But I think in regards to their relationship or in regards to reporters in general, there aren't too many who don't appreciate a man willing to let you in and speak on behalf of his team and allow their players and grant players the opportunity to speak for themselves. We get, unlimited access basically to his players. And those kids come here, they work hard, they play hard, they win games, they graduate. So you got a guy doing things the right way of character. Who isn't afraid to sit down and talk with you, who gets the role of the press. He was once a media member himself. What's not to like? You're going to be able at that point to not only foster good relationships, but you are, because you're doing things the way that you have for as long as you have, you're going to see where that ends in favorable coverage. You've earned it.
Well, and this is where, his players, they all sound the same over the course of the past 6-7 years when it comes to speaking on selflessness of team, within the construct of playing in the system that Leonard has created. But then also they're diligent and they're thoughtful players. I mean, the culture of this, when they can turn away 4- and 5-star kids that don't believe in the team concept and the defense.
Yeah, that they've gotten to that point, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing, though. Like, there are times in certain programs or professional sports teams where you've got to interview either a segment group or just an individual player, and you're like, ugh, okay, this is going to be a tough Tuesday. Can't wait for Wednesday when I get to talk to these players.
Yeah.
Every single one of his interviews. They might not be the kids that'll give you a paragraph, they'll give you a sentence or two, but every one of his interviews over the last 4-5 seasons, you go up and down the roster. These are thoughtful kids. They're good citizens. He recruits some amazing stories, too, internationally speaking.
Oh, those stories are, enough to move you to tears when they graduated. They do him, and I think that it always does reveal what a genuine guy he is and how much he cares about the athletes that he brings in here. He wants to win. Don't get it twisted. He wants to win games. He wants to dominate. He's not just bringing guys here out of kindness. It's about winning damn games. But you're right. He has found all kinds of great backstories with kids that can play. It's just crazy.
And as it pertains to this article, who else would you want to hear from in the sports world than somebody who's been around a little while, seen some things from Gastonia to here?
Seen some things is right. Overwhelmingly devastating things, sad things, but also has been a part of really special moments where the good was found and out the other side, right?
It's going to be tough to beat. Obviously, the kickoff of the first game of Florida State football in 2020 is going to be a huge moment. No pun intended, a seminal moment of the calendar year.
Well done.
But it's Leonard on the ladder at the TLC-CC.
Was the best moment. It won't be beaten for me.
I don't think it
There's
can
really
be.
Nothing that's going to beat that. That
Short
was
of Norvell going 12-0.
Which also will not happen, I don't believe. But hey, first of all, what I like about your statement 12-0 is that you have us playing 12 games. All right.
Well, if I'm the athletic director, I'm making sure that the Mercers of the world are
ready
on
to
speed dial.
Yeah.
Listen, $250,000 to your university. Come on down.
I don't know if
we need
we
you
can
in a
afford
pinch.
that necessarily, but I would tell you, Tom.
$12 to your university.
I'm going to give you $200.
And I'll pay you for the gas.
Cash. Here you go. It is interesting to note. If we move forward with this, and we don't have West Virginia to be played at a neutral site in Atlanta, or we're not traveling to Boise to take on Boise State, although I think we still might. Holding out hope. I'm making the trip. I don't care if they're letting 5,000 people in for that game. I'm one of the 5. I'm going.
Well, you could get credentialed, I would think.
I'm going to get credentialed, Tom. I'm going to that
Spacey in the press box could get dicey, though.
Yeah, well, I'll go sit in the stands anyhow. I don't want to sit in the press box for that game.
That might be the move, actually.
It is the move.
Space out the press in the stands.
Yeah.
As long as it's not on the visitor side at Doak. My God.
Yeah. Just put me on the 50 and I'm good. That's all.
I would need to be in a bath in my SPF.
You might die out in the sun. You're right. You'd be in trouble. That said, I had lost all hope that Boise was going to happen. I have not now. I think there's a distinct possibility that game does get played. I'm going to it. I'm going to see this dream through.
You will power play.
I'm going
like it's a national title game, like it's a prize fight.
All right.
Like it's the prize fight that only 5,000 people can get to go see. You will power play it.
I'm going to make sure it happens. I'm going to go, and it's going to kick ass. Anyhow, I brought all of that up to say that if we don't play those games, here I am hopeful that we are, I wonder when we would hear about an altered schedule and or what you do in terms of do you get to, at that point, do you get to schedule an extra home game? Do you say, okay, well, we're not playing Boise, but we will play Mercer and we'll play it in Doak? Do you get to do that?
I would think so.
So you get like 8 home games?
Oh, we are Terrence Mann, the movie character.
Yeah, there are no rules here. There are no rules here. Well, there are no rules at restaurants anymore, man. If I can walk in and buy a gallon jug of margarita, and I can.
And you can. That is legal.
I can. And or Gordo Smash to go.
And you chug it, and then you get a second one to take home. With a rideshare service.
Of course. Yeah, if I were to do that, no, I couldn't drink a gallon of margaritas, even as much as I love them. I had a Margarona recently.
You did?
I did, because I was so hell-bent.
Bastard.
I did. I had one. And I broke out. I turned all flush red.
Why was I not called?
Well, it was a date with my wife.
Why was I not called?
It was on a Saturday. The boys were out of town. We had a hot date.
Well, all right.
Yeah. I was like, we are in need of sexy time. Let's go have a few drinks.
What's more sexy than a Margarona?
Well, that was how I played it. You got to know what you're doing there. I was like, well, we'll go out and have a nice dinner. Would you look at that? They have Margaronas here.
Fancy that, Jeff.
Yeah.
Fancy that.
I think I'll order one. The kids aren't here.
Oh, stunner.
So when my wife informed me that our floors were unacceptable, I knew one thing to be true. We were getting new floors. I know nothing about flooring. I mean, honestly, who does? They're floors. I asked around, and folks, that's correct, folks, and that's who I want to hear from when getting flooring advice, told me to call Brian Barnard's Flooring America. And you guessed it, I did, and I'm glad I did. And you will be too. They're professional, they're efficient, and they're informative. I learned a lot, but more importantly, I got beautiful floors. Give them a call today, 850-273-4373. And remember, Flooring America, friends send friends.
Seminole Headlines Podcast Edition is presented to you by the Morgan Law Group, representing the policyholder, going after the insurance companies. Offices, Miami, Orlando, Naples, and Panama City. Online at policyadvocate.com.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. There's never been anything quite like the all-new Jeep Gladiator, engineered from the ground up to be a true pickup truck, backed by legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability. Now, drive forward with employee pricing on all-new Jeep Gladiators. Save up to $6,309 off MSRP. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. America's most loyal pickup owners, Ram. Outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost 12 models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Drive forward only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee. Jeep pricing on all Gladiators excluding Rubicon and Overland.
Business owners and CEOs apply now for the Tallahassee Small Business Executive Program, designed to help business owners and CEOs think differently and become more efficient in running their businesses. This program is presented by the Jim Moran Institute in Florida State University's College of Business, offered at no cost to the participant. The program meets once a month beginning in August. More information is available at jimmoraninstitute.fsu.edu. That's Jim Moran Institute.fsu.edu.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This spring, I'm making Everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits. Turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent! Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at tlhcando.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
Hey guys, Jeff Cameron here. You'll be hearing more from me in the coming weeks as my journey back to Orange Theory Fitness, well, it's begun. I know that for all of us, as we slowly emerge from self-quarantine, got to feel safe. Feel safe in the places we choose to spend our time, right? And most importantly, we need to know that individuals and or companies have our health and best interest in mind, and I can tell you this is most certainly the case at Orange Theory Fitness. As a member, I like to take classes 4 days a week, bare minimum, and I ventured back over to do some training just as they opened this week, and I can attest to the steps taken to ensure your safety. Well, they're extraordinary, frankly. I doubt you can find a hospital as clean as Orange Theory Fitness is currently and will remain dedicated to being. So if you're concerned, maybe a little unsure, well, that's okay. But just know Orange Theory Fitness is open once again and is 100% dedicated to ensuring you get back into shape safely in an environment you can trust. Give Orange Theory Fitness a try today, or check them out at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This is intriguing and really exciting news. FSU, I read from Ira Chappelle's piece on warchant.com, FSU's new COVID testing center could be key factor in return for football. Florida State's football players have begun participating in voluntary workouts. You know that already. That happened earlier this week. All participating players have undergone COVID-19 testing. I was aware that had happened. I spoke with somebody over there that all the players had been tested. And strict guidelines are in place to try to make sure there's not an outbreak if a player or a staff member contracts the virus. But does that mean there definitely will be college football played inside Doak Campbell Stadium this fall, writes Ira. Quote, right now we are planning to begin sports seasons on time and play a full slate of contests, FSU Athletics Director David Coburn told the university's Board of Trustees yesterday. That's right now. Whether this happens, obviously, will be determined by people far smarter than I and at a higher pay grade. It's also going to be determined, writes Schaffel, by whether these voluntary football workouts continue without a spike in infections and whether the same holds true when more students, faculty, and staff begin returning to campus this summer. Gary Ostrander, FSU's vice president for research, updated the panel on the university's plans to open its own COVID-19 testing center in the very near future. Ostrander said a suitable facility in Innovation Park was recently acquired and is already being remodeled into a laboratory-type space. Next week, he said the school will begin receiving shipments of several PCR diagnostic machines, other lab equipment, and reagents to be used in the testing process. What that means is COVID tests, which currently have to be sent to other cities and states to be processed and often take 48 hours or longer to get the results, may now be completed in the same day. Yeah, I was told, I want to add to this, I'm speaking off the cuff here while we read, and I'll go back to the story in a second. I spoke to a person in the medical field at Florida State yesterday, and he told me that they wanted to get to a place before the season starts. We'll see if this is possible or not, to where not only are you testing players and getting results in the same day, it's very important the speed with which they get the results back. He kept stressing that. Not only do you need more tests and access to more tests, but you need the results to be obtained rapidly. That way you can test when you travel. So if you get off a plane before playing a game, you can get tested, and we can know before kickoff that everybody tested and is clear, or that you removed those who didn't, whatever it might be, right? Yeah. So his thought was, look, we got to get to a place. And he goes, I know it exists in the world. We don't have access to it currently, but we got to get to a place where we can do tests and we can know the answer inside 10 minutes, not 8 hours. Not 48 hours, not 24 hours, 10 minutes. We need to test you, and we need to know now. Back to the article. That would allow us to test in this community, and particularly on campus, says Ostrander. We have two primary objectives that are guiding this. One is incredibly high accuracy, and we have to have the highest possible accuracy. So everything is set up to optimize accuracy. The second objective is that we need to be able to turn around the results in 8 to 24 hours. I know they want it to be faster than that, by the way. John Thrasher, the FSU president, said that will be key to the university allowing students to return to campus this fall, and Coburn added that it will be equally important for a successful return of all athletics. My opinion, based on everything I've read and understand, is the testing lab that we will create here at Florida State University is critical to being successful when we come back in the fall. We have to be able to test, we have to be able to trace, and we have to be able to do that in a very efficient and quick manner in order to keep any hot spots from expanding, said Thrasher. To illustrate the importance, Ostrander gave a hypothetical example of a student who lives in a campus dorm waking up and feeling ill. That could be the result of a common bug or the flu, or it could be the result of too much partying. But it also could be COVID-19. With the ability to test and receive results within hours, the university can quickly determine whether it's safe for the student to return to the dorms or if he needs to be quarantined to prevent an outbreak. Coburn said the similar sports programs will benefit from the same approach. FSU has been testing football players, staff members, and coaches for the last couple of weeks and will continue for a little while longer. When those baseline tests are completed, they will move on to testing for men's and women's basketball, followed by soccer, volleyball, and cross country. Those are fall sports. As for what football games could look like in the fall, Coburn said all of that is still to be determined, especially when it comes to who can go to these games, attend these games. And his staff are working on a variety of scenarios, everything from 0 fans to 100% capacity. Depending on who you talk to and what you read, it seems to me that we're moving towards plans all around this country to have fans in the stands, but at a reduced percentage, obviously. And more, I seem to see numbers anywhere from 20% to 50%, nothing more than 50%. Who knows? Information changes what's possible. The more we learn, the more we know, the more equipped we are to make these decisions. So I'm not going to say there's no chance they have 100% capacity in the fall, but I would doubt it.
Random thought that runs tangent to what you're talking about, but just thinking about travel and testing and all that needs to go into it. maybe the fact that people aren't traveling in droves will allow for us to more affordably get a hotel room for every single player when we stay on the road. Whereas before that would cost a lot of money. Maybe it doesn't cost nearly as much anymore because the hotels are starving for business.
Do you think we're going to have to do ACC meetings via Zoom? Do you think they'll do them?
I think that, well, not like we're going to pop up on it. I think they're just going to broadcast one digitally, and then they'll have an MC, and then go
but I was just saying, you could be credentialed, and it wouldn't be random. You would have the opportunity to attend Zoom meetings with coaches, or, because that's the biggest thing you get at these things are talking to the elite players for each team. Usually that's who's sent, obviously, either team captains or very significant, impactful players for their particular team. So you can always request that you talk to, I don't know, Trevor Lawrence and, whomever it might be. They could still do that. A player sits in a room.
Yeah.
And it's a Zoom call where the reporters are there to ask them questions, and they could still do it with coaches. Sadly, I wasn't going to get to interview my guy anyhow.
Yeah.
As he is now out there in Colorado State.
Yeah, you could call over to Colorado State just for the hell of it and say, Adazio, give me 20 minutes on life.
Steve.
How's the wine thing going?
Steve, listen. We've had an annual conversation, and we've become chums. We have. I mean, you've talked to me about wine and how it's vital, according to you. You've talked at great length about pastries, so much so that my friend Tom Lang here purchased one for you that you were excited to receive and you guarded carefully.
Yeah, how BS is it, Coach, that I couldn't give that to one of your players, but I could give that to you?
Mm-hmm.
Discuss.
Well, I could ask him about any number of things, and maybe I'll do that, Tom. That's a summer conversation. I'm going to reach out to Colorado State and say, any chance I could talk to Steve Adazio?
I think you should ask him. Coach, remember, in our 3-4 interviews that we've done, at-length interviews, I've always started with a hard-line question about Boston College. Do you agree with me now?
You think he would answer it? You think he would answer it honestly? Do you think he would besmirch old BC?
I think he might do something along the lines of...
Well, he always answered it honestly.
The administration and I didn't see eye to eye. And
well, he also... They had a terrible ending to last season. That team... I mean, I love you, Coach, but damn it, man.
Mm-hmm. He also choked away two victories in Doak that he had. One against that 14 team. It was all his for the taking.
Yeah.
Shot Green had the dropsies that day.
And then he ran a trick play.
For no reason.
No reason. I've always marveled when teams are having success on the ground. Running the ball down your throat. Nothing more emasculating. Nothing eats more clock. So if you're the team with lesser talent, you're able to shorten the game. But most importantly, what it signifies is physical superiority. And if you're running the ball down someone's throat, you don't then opt to be passive. You don't then decide to air it out because you don't have to. You're whipping their ass mano a mano. There's no reason to not continue to pound the rock. Got to run the ball and further humiliate people. And what he will always have is a glorious evening in which he rushed for over 500 yards against Southern Cal.
Southern Cal.
Humiliated in a way that so few, even we, on the wrong end of an ass kicking at BC, did not give up anything close to 500 yards rushing, which, of course, elicited to me and Bomani Jones a moment where we chuckled together like children.
And we quit in that game.
Oh, we had quit before it kicked off.
And they still couldn't do it.
It's hard to run for 5. That's why me and Bomani were laughing. We were just chuckling like little kids. Like, who gives up 500 yards rushing?
Ain't nobody.
It's
except
insane.
Southern Cal.
USC gave up 500 yards rushing. 500.
It's Adazio calling the trick play in 14 here in Doak, and then it's Cutcliffe in 17 for whatever reason.
Oh, well, if you want, 2014, Clemson spreads out and goes 5 wide and marching up and down the field on our ass. And is that the game? No.
No, that's 10.
That's 10. You're right. That was 2000.
Oh, my God.
Game. Yeah, that was right.
EJ completed a bomb over the middle of Rodney Smith early, and then we didn't see anything until the late fireworks in the fourth quarter. And he scores on EJ scores on his own scamper to the right.
Yeah.
And then we get the stop. Yeah, Dabo had messed around. He'd done messed around with that one. And it was the pick I never saw. It was the Xavier Rhodes pick around the end zone. Because they were so bad. That's Jimbo. You could play well in the tween 20s situations. Lose the game. That was Dabo.
It was unbelievable. He did it all the time. He did it against South Carolina. He did it. That's why the reputation was what it was. We never saw this kind of transformation happening.
Tried to against Notre Dame.
Hey, and
the game that was famous for, bring your own guts or whatever.
Yeah, I got to say, I don't know if it's going to turn out to be this way, but I don't know why, but I guess I do. We've seen it too many times. It's happened here. It happened at UF. Things turn in an instant in college football, and whenever you're trying to find a way that a juggernaut gets derailed, how does it happen? It's always something you don't see coming, and I'm not sure we didn't just see it happen with Dabo's program, man. It will be very interesting to follow and monitor recruiting. You have a situation in which I know it's a 2-year-old incident, but you have an assistant coach use the N-word, and really Dabo has said not much about it, has not properly addressed this in my eyes. That is not going. That's never okay, and it's also not going to play well with recruits.
Well, then Breeze stole the headlines, and then we did. But then we repaired what we did, and then Breeze releases a video every 15 minutes now, and so Dabo got shoved down to the C or D block.
Yeah, nationally he did, but recruits will hear that. They'll see that. They know that exists, and you had former players that didn't like it and were speaking out on it. We may have seen the moment. I don't know. Only time will tell. And he may actually address it, and maybe it becomes something that it's a moot point.
I just think when discussing that story, you need to play the TikTok video. And now we have something here.
Yeah. Well, Tom, why don't you put that together? We'll start playing it on a loop around here.
Yeah.
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
And at AAATreeExperts.net. AAATreeExperts.net.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up and get back to playing the game we all love. Edwin Watts Golf Shop is now fully reopened to serve all your golfing needs. Our team has taken precautions to ensure your shopping safety when you visit our stores. Come in today and get the best deals on clubs, bags, balls, apparel, and more. And at Edwin Watts, we offer free custom club fitting, club repair, and trade-ins. Now, let's get out there and play some golf. Edwin Watts Golf Shop, home of the 90-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or Russian, but thought it would be too difficult and time-consuming? Then go to Babbel.com and try it for free. Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you will actually use. In 15 minutes a day, you'll be on your way to speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel uses a modern conversation-based technique that makes language engaging, fun, and memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then, sentences gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. Babbel is created by language experts who use the spaced repetition method to help you learn quickly and remember what you learned. With Babbel, you can speak a new language. Babbel. Language for life. Now try Babbel free. Just go to Babbel.com or download the Babbel app and start learning a new language today. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
With a Bojangles 3-piece chicken supreme snack, you get a plate of bold, boneless chicken and a hot, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit for just $3.99. Or, if you'd rather 2 pieces of bone-in fried chicken with a biscuit and a fixin', don't you worry, because that's $3.99 too. It's such a good deal, you can knock out dinner and balance your budget in one fell swoop. Because if you're going to take out 2 birds with 1 stone, they ought to be delicious. Bojangles. It's bow time.
Seminole Headlines, Podcast Edition, is presented to you by the Morgan Law Group, representing the policyholder, going after the insurance companies. Offices, Miami, Orlando, Naples, and Panama City. Online at policyadvocate.com.
Barry knows school, he's keeping you comfortable. Barry knows school, you can put him to the test.
Your home has been a place of great comfort. We can help you keep it that way. Barno Heating and Air is helping you get ready for summer with $1,500 off select new units, 0% financing for qualified buyers, plus worry-free maintenance plans. Learn more or schedule online at BarnoAC.com. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barno Heating and Air today. Florida license CAC 1816186.
This spring, I'm making Everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits, turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent! Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at TLHCanDo.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
Promotional consideration for 97.9 ESPN Radio is provided by the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship. Online at jimmoraninstitute.fsu.edu.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
I feel like Jay Cutler and Cavallari, from what snapshots I have seen of their marriage, it reminded me of what I imagine yours to be, Stugatz. In terms of your wife always rolling your eyes at you always being you, but loving and understanding that, treating it with care. And now they're divorced.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
You've known for a while now that the best place to grab lunch in downtown Tallahassee is Metro Deli. But did you know that Metro Deli is now offering its own online grocery list? That's right. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to check out all of the best offerings of meats, cheeses, breads, egg salad, tuna salad, signature dishes, and more from your friends at Metro Deli. Metro Deli, more than just a lunch shop, now your corner deli market. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to support those who support local hospitality workers during the COVID-19 crisis.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Hour number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Thanks for tuning to it. I hope you're well. Hope you're safe. Hope you're healthy. I know you're smart because you're listening to this. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. You can also find us on YouTube, and you can email the show if you like, jcs at 979ESPNradio.com. You know, I don't think my kids realize that when they purchase things from their video game machines there at the house, the PS4 and the Nintendo, whatever the hell that thing is my son plays now, that I can see that. It pops up in my email. It says, "Thank you for your purchase." I'm going to have an experiment here, Tom. We'll monitor it on the show. I'm not going to tell them that I am aware that they are purchasing items because PlayStation and Nintendo tells me, thank you for your purchase every time it happens via email. And I'm going to wait and see, do they tell me that they've been purchasing games? Let's see how long this goes on before they decide to tell Dad that they're spending his money without asking.
Yeah. So I could tell you something that happened like that when I was in my teenage years. Actually, I was a senior in high school. We got to go to a conference at Columbia. Our school did. We're very lucky. You have to get invited to it. So we got to go to this thing. It was, you stay in Manhattan, you go to Columbia, and it's a journalism conference. And so you get to learn about, what other high schools across the country are doing, and then you get the best to tell you.
We didn't get to go to Columbia, but we did something in New York City as well and stayed in Manhattan, yes.
So my parents gave me some meal money and a stipend, essentially, to get by because it was a 5-day conference. And I made sure just to have cheap slices of pizza instead of eating at the fine dining establishments that we would do.
You decided to go for pizza.
So that, not just because it's delicious, but so that I could go to the New York Mets store in downtown.
Nicely done.
And purchase a bleep ton of Mets gear along with some money I had saved up.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it was about 2 weeks after I got back that they saw I was wearing basically something new
every
other day.
Like, I didn't buy that for you.
Including my egregious puffy orange and blue, not blue and orange, the orange and blue NY jacket. They go, how do you afford all this? We just looked up the retail value. You spent, X $100 at the store. I was like, I decided to eat Famiglia pizza
every day.
Not even the good kind, like the crappy kind, because I wanted to save up. But they had to notice before I told them. So my guess is that's where that's going with you.
Yeah, that I'm eventually going to have to bring it to their attention that I'm aware that every time I walk to the back and look at their TV, they're playing a new game. How did they get that game?
Yeah, I got the new spring training jersey, the big jacket, 3 hats, and 2 T-shirts.
It's a little similar to me getting busted using my stepfather's mobile credit card. So, mobile gas station. When I first went away to school, they told me, only use this if you're getting gas. We'll pay for your gas each month. Just use it for gas, nothing else. Occasionally, if you're really hungry or something and you need to use it and get something there at the mobile station, then go ahead. But nothing crazy. The first 3 or 4 bills, everything's fine. And then he gets one for $400. And he goes, how's that even possible? And I said, well, I just bought gas. I don't understand. I mean, I did do some traveling, and I was driving around. So he itemized. He ended up asking for and got sent. Well, that was a good time. That was not good. See here, no fewer than 15 cases of beer on this card, along with dip. You're buying cans of dip with my mobile card. I may have bought a couple. First of all, you need to stop dipping. Secondly, I never told you that you could use my credit card to do that. Well, I apologize. Also, are you buying beer for the entire football team? Why in the world are you buying case upon case upon case of beer?
I'm thirsty, Dad.
Well, I have many addictions, Bob. Dip, beer. These are all things that I kind of deem as essential items. Yeah, I got popped for that. That wasn't good. There were so many things that are like, you purchased 15 beef jerkies on a Wednesday. Why?
Well, it was 11, and I'd already been at a happy hour.
I've been a little hungry on the way home.
Like the right amount. I don't know.
15, they're skinny.
Get a special on the third one, so I said, let's do this 5 times. But then it happens where your parents don't believe you at certain points. Remember this.
Oh, you have lost the benefit of the doubt.
Well, I don't know about in this case. They thought just because I was living off campus in like an apartment complex, Villa San Marco. I mean, it still exists on Tharp. If you check their incident reports back to 2006 and 7, you'll find my name in there because my roommate, it was not me, my roommate bought a charcoal grill, and we cooked some hot dogs and hamburgers. Was this the roommate that you
later had to separate from because he was dealing weed out of your apartment?
No, different. Same apartment, different roommate. And actually, this guy with the charcoal had a problem with the same person.
Yeah.
I slapped the popcorn bowl out of his high-ass's lap. Yeah. And he threw away the charcoal after we ate the meal. So we go to the Strip later the night, and my buddy, Malagon, calls me, and he says, dude, the apartment's on fire. We have the fire department here. And we're like, come on. So we go home, and sure as hell, the back deck that's just blazing. It's all gone. Like, the siding is all melted.
It's all
and
gone.
Stuff.
It's all gone.
And the cause of it was my roommate threw the charcoal in the grill. You're not supposed to do that because it'll light on fire.
Yes.
You know, it's common sense. I didn't know we did it. It was 5:30. We weren't having this wild party. And my parents and my family all think that we had this blowout and somebody set the
house
on fire. Yeah. I can't convince them. I cannot possibly convince them.
No, it was
even
just
with
plain,
the fire report that says charcoal in a trash can.
It was just plain stupidity. Who puts charcoal in a trash can?
Not this guy. Not this guy.
The Memorial Tournament will be the first PGA Tour event to allow spectators, Tom, when it's played at Jack Nicklaus's Muirfield Village next month. They are, as we well know, starting back on tour next week. This time next week, they're in day 2 of a tournament. Damn right they are. And I'm excited about that. But that is really aggressive. Listen to them now saying, well, now not only are we coming back to play, but we're going to allow fans. And that's not in the too distant future at all. It's next month.
Yeah, I'm leery of that. They've always announced that was going to be the start of fans.
No, but I never thought that was going to actually happen.
I don't know. Now, they are playing back-to-back weeks there. Oddly enough, the PGA had an open slot. They're like, we'll take both of them.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking, well, doesn't another
somebody else
state or city want this, even if there are no fans? But yeah, what's odd is you're going to play it one weekend without fans, and then boom, if it all goes to plan, the next weekend they're going to be.
Yeah, they announced it via Twitter. Thanks to state approval and support from the PGA Tour, patrons will be permitted to attend the 45th edition of the Memorial. Ohio Governor Mike DeWine confirmed the decision at his daily press conference on Friday, that's today, which that event is scheduled for July 16th. And they believe that they will be able to do it. There are still plans now as they review another 3 tournaments in the near future that are considering having fans. So this is significant. This is a big deal. We thought sports would lead the way as we return to our lives. In many facets, sports would lead the way, and it looks like the PGA Tour is really the boldest of the bunch up to this point. It's one thing to announce that you're going to finish up a regular basketball season and into the playoffs and have it take place there in Orlando at the Wide World of Sports, but that's without fans. That's just going to be in an isolated gym. It's a whole nother to say, not only are we coming back to play as the PGA Tour is next week, but to then say, yes, in a month after we come back, we're playing and you're going to be able to come in attendance and watch it.
Yeah, but the problem is that apparently the PGA Tour's plan is to have a certain group of, for lack of a better term, security officers who are going to monitor the distancing.
It'll be difficult.
So, like, what? Rory's going to be in his backswing. 6 feet, please. I don't know how you're going to be able to execute that.
Well, I think here's the thing. If you want people to be able to space out and you can listen again, I think you got to give people a little bit of the benefit of the doubt here in terms of their intelligence. I know it's hard for me to do that too, but I think in terms of safety, it seems pretty easy. Look, instead of, we would normally sell, I don't know how many thousands of tickets, but we're going to get 50% of that is what we're going to sell. And guys, because there's a scarcity of these tickets, there's going to be ample room for you to garner a great view of the action. You don't have to stand on top of Ted. Move away from Ted. You don't need to be all up on Ted. Let's go. Enjoy the action. Those of you who are lucky enough to get a ticket.
Meanwhile, Ted's like, I'm saying, get away, man. I just want to watch this putt. Nobody's made it all day.
No, but you can request that, okay, look, we're only going to have 50% of our normal capacity for this tournament. Oh, by the way, those of you who do score a ticket, it is required that you wear a mask and that you remain, unless you're with the person you drove here with, not dissimilar to any number of policies and currently at golf courses all around town. Unless you're, with the person that you drove here with, you don't need to get within 6 feet of other patrons. Most people would adhere to that. I dare say all people would adhere to that unless they want to get booted from the event.
I just want to say thank you to local golf courses for helping me keep my sanity during these last few months.
Well, Corin's done a great job. Southwood has done a great job. I still have yet to go over to the beautiful Legacy course and play it. I've been there, but I haven't played it, and that needs to happen, obviously.
Heileman's in beautiful shape, too, right now.
Yeah.
But they're all good choices because they're golf. They're all golf courses.
More golf courses, not fewer. That's always a good thing. I mean,
unless it's George Carlin doing a bit.
Well, that's true. Well, in this case, we have needed that. We have needed it big time. The rest of this story reads as follows, by the way. Tournament officials from the Memorial in Dublin, the Marathon Classic, LPGA in Toledo, the Senior PGA Challenge in Akron, and the Nationwide Children's Championship, Corn Ferry in Columbus, co-signed a letter to the governor. We appeal to you to permit the 4 Ohio professional tournaments to allow fans this coming July and August. The tournament directors said that without spectators, these tournaments will not be successful or even viable. And now they have ruled on it. They have responded and said, yeah, it's going to happen. I do think that I still think it would be unlikely that the Senior PGA Challenge, bunch of old asses out there, man, we don't need.
No, I thought they canceled the whole season. I thought that's already done.
Oh, so yeah, maybe that read is.
I feel like I've seen that on Golf Channel Bottom Line as I'm cycling through the same 4 sports network looking for some classic sports that appeal to me that given night.
Has there been an old golf tournament that you've enjoyed watching?
Well, the first time that the 16 Ryder Cup came on, sure as heck tuned into that. I found myself the Duel in the Sun was on recently. Well, not the Duel in the Sun, the Redux, Phil versus Henrik.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard to watch though because they go to so many commercials and it's just 2 guys in the same group for 2 straight days playing unbelievable golf. You almost need to get a mashup of it more than the actual coverage. So to answer your question, no, not really.
I got to sit down and catch up on the whole Tiger documentary. I didn't watch it. And I'm a Tiger guy. It wasn't a documentary per se.
It was all right. Tiger isn't even in it. Tiger's not even in the thing. It's just like some lookalike dude who's like, sitting down as there's a montage of people talking about him. He like sits in this fake living room and you see the 4 trophies from the Tiger Slam and he's got the profile that looks like Tiger.
But it's not Tiger?
No, and everybody else talks about Tiger. Stevie Williams.
Yeah, but I bet those anecdotes are interesting.
They are.
Especially the one where Stevie didn't have enough golf balls. And if he had, that's crazy.
That is crazy. They were down to their last one, and Tiger refused. They're on 18 at Pebble, which, if you know, there's an ocean to the left.
Yeah, and he refused to not hit driver, right? He was going to hit driver no matter what.
Because he went OB or he went in the water on the first one. Yeah. Yeah. And that is the legendary 2000 United States Open. He would have been disqualified.
Despite running away with it. That would have been, you might have seen an assault.
That's not just a fireable offense. That's right. Yeah.
Man. Yeah, that's but it's also now he was unaware they were down to their last ball. Meaning Tiger was. Tiger was. And that's very important.
Well, how about Stevie when Stevie's numb when Tiger's at the top of his backswing? He's got to be numb going.
Oh, I would be nearly in tears. I mean, that's think about how history is altered.
Listen, Tiger, we need to go down and play it from the rocks somehow. You've got a card at 10, mate. You got a card at 10.
Yeah, you're going to have to do this. Yeah. Oh, my God. It's a good thing he chose not to tell him. Because I don't care how tough and steely Tiger Woods is. If a caddy told you lose this ball, we're disqualified, it's going to affect your shot.
This is why I carry a pocket knife. Situations like this.
That is Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
$373. And remember, Florida America. Friends send friends.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
On behalf of my good friends over at Bumpus Local 349, I wish to let you know, hey, the patio is open and the drinks, they're flowing. Yes, they're operating at 50%. They're practicing social distancing for your safety, of course. Bumpus Local 349 invites you to enjoy the Wingman Special. 25 wings plus 2 orders of fries and a bucket of ice-cold beers for $38.95. That's next to nothing. And by the way, if you're more comfortable, curbside pickup available all day, every day at Bumpus Local 349. They also sell your favorite alcoholic drinks to go as well. So that's an idea. Call 850-999-8562 to place your pickup order, or for deliveries, you can contact Bite Squad. It's Bumpus Local 349. Remember, eat local, drink local, and be local.
Business owners and CEOs apply now for the Tallahassee Small Business Executive Program, designed to help business owners and CEOs think differently and become more efficient in running their businesses. This program is presented by the Jim Moran Institute in Florida State University's College of Business, offered at no cost to the participant. The program meets once a month beginning in August. More information is available at jimmoraninstitute.fsu.edu. That's Jim Moran Institute.fsu.edu.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less. AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319, that's 385-3319, or online at AAATreeExperts.net, AAATreeExperts.net.
Seminole Headlines.
Brian writes, is there a better song we can play going into fourth quarter than Eastbound and Down? I love Burt and all, but don't think this song is catching on. I hate to say it, but the Gators got this right with Tom Petty's I Won't Back Down. It's fun and the whole crowd gets into it. Any suggestions?
That's a tough situation. It's a tough situation.
You're not going to outdo Tom Petty. That's going to be a tough sell, and there is nobody that, musician-wise, graduated from Florida State, that wrote an anthemic song that the country loves.
Wait, isn't Creed a Tallahassee band?
No, dare even mention it. That one of the worst bands ever assembled. That should never happen.
Just imagine, though. Try to imagine this, Jeff. You're in a 21-20 game with Miami. Yeah. You've got Miami's driving.
Yeah. And
at the 32-yard line. You go to the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
With arms wide open. You're motorhead. I mean, the whole crowd would be singing that song, Jeff. Miami would just melt. They would melt into a puddle if they heard 80,000 people singing, or 20,000 singing Arms Wide Open.
If you want to have fun, go look up that ridiculous Marlins anthem that the lead singer from Creed wrote. It's unbelievable. And the Marlins actually played it. It's one of the worst songs you have ever heard in your life.
Was there a theme song to The Longest Yard? Because that was a classic Burt Reynolds football movie.
It was, yeah. I don't think there was a theme song that I recall. No.
I think it was With Arms Wide Open.
Tuesday night on 97.9 ESPN Radio. The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness, science-backed, technology-tracked, and coach-inspired. 2 Tallahassee locations. For more information, head to orangetheoryfitness.com today to start your journey.
With Director Matthew lately, Tom, I'm going to enter you into this conversation. I get that at 48, nearly 49, after all, my birthday is next week, that I'm probably out of touch with phrasing or trends, certain memes, certain things that are popular amongst the kids.
T. Lizzie has entered the chat.
Yes. So I had asked Matthew, Director Matthew, you'll have to speak loudly as Tom directs his mic over to you.
There's a challenge.
What was the first thing I brought up that neither one of us knew? Oh, the way that the letters are when they're okay.
SpongeBob meme?
Yeah. Okay. You know the one where he's like a chicken, and people will type out. And did we ever come to a conclusion? What
like
the hell that
alternating?
meant?
You mean like alternating lowercase and uppercase?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
It just means you're stupid when you make whatever argument that is.
I was able to deduce that.
It's like butter emails. It's like lowercase b.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that's what's being implied there is that they took this from an episode of SpongeBob that whenever he saw plaid, he clucked like a chicken, which is an absurd premise anyhow and awesome because whoever came up with that, I want to be their friend. Imagine sitting around pushing show ideas and you're like, listen, what if Mr. Krabs is wearing plaid and every time SpongeBob sees anybody with plaid on, he starts to cluck like a chicken and morph into a chicken. Who in that room wouldn't be like, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard?
You keep eating those shrooms, Harry.
Harry, you are a bad son of a bitch. That's incredible. And then they went with it.
Please lower your voices. It's too loud.
But I would have jumped from the table and went, my God, I got to kiss your forehead. You are a genius. That's insane. So anyhow, I didn't for the longest time when I would go online and I would look at social media and I would see people doing that with the capital letter, lowercase, and it was random.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I don't know what's being done here, but I eventually figured it out because it seemed to accompany usually a picture or a meme where somebody was doing something dumb.
Right. So it would
saying something dumb.
It wouldn't be a great example because the words are all very short, but you could put like the U is back. Right.
You could do like a capital H instead of a capital T to start it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And it's usually somebody taking a canned slogan or statement. Could be War Damn Eagle if you're a Bama fan, something like that. And that is them signaling without a sarcastic font or your dumb font that you are,
in fact
dumb.
Okay,
yeah.
So
it's like 4 Alabama players arrested for da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And it's like roll tide with like all the letters.
Yeah. So how long did it take you to figure that out, though? I mean, the first time you saw it, were you not like me thinking, what the hell are they doing?
No, the first time I saw it, I figured it out because it was a part of a larger tweet.
Okay.
So it was like somebody made the statement and it says, but War Damn Eagle or whatever the example
and then
was. I might have just given it.
And then you realized.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I didn't have such a tweet before me. I had just random things that I would be reading or scrolling through and I'd be like, well, there it is again. Somebody's doing that with the letters again. Well, I don't know what they're doing. I'd like to know, but I'm afraid to ask. I'm going to sound like a boomer, as the kids say. I have no idea. So I asked Matthew. I came in the office the other day, and I asked Director Matthew, Matthew, how old are you? 25? 24.
24, indeed.
I guessed pretty good there. So anyhow,
God, time flies. I remember when you were just a young pup.
I do, too. Yeah.
Started working here at 9 years old, full time.
We put him to work. I always thought it was interesting that he was a smoker. But I would tell you that, I figured 99.9% because Matthew's pretty hip. So I thought, you know what? He'll know. He's young. He lives online.
He's hip?
Well, he used to be. I don't think he is anymore.
I don't know.
Now he's an old 24. But anyhow, so he's become a father. He's tired all the time. He doesn't have time to be cool. Nobody does. When you're raising kids, you don't have time. You don't have time to be cool or to know what is cool. So I came in and I asked him, and I was relieved because he had no idea either. It was like he knew.
I'm down with it.
It was like he knew what I was going to ask because I prefaced it with, hey, look, man, I know I'm out of touch, but I see this online with the kids, and I don't know what they're doing. And before I even said it, he's like, with the letters, he knew where I was going. So we looked it up together. We didn't know. This was earlier the week.
It's too bad I wasn't here for you.
Yeah, you would have been able to tell us. The guy's damn near 40 coming in here telling us.
So hip, I got 2 of them.
Yep, there you go. Boom.
It's a Keith Jones joke for you.
Yeah, it is. Now, so that happened. Then, right after that happened, I heard somebody use the phrase thirst trapping.
Ooh, this could be dicey.
Have you ever heard of thirst trapping?
Well, I know what thirsty is.
I don't.
Oh, really?
Oh no, I have no idea. If I'm thirsty,
desirous, lusting after.
Okay.
You're thirsty for, yes,
Oh,
attention.
but that's been used for years. I'm thirsty to win, or I'm thirsty to.
It's now,
now it's used in sexual context.
Lusting after, yeah. So thirst trap, that would be interesting. That must be manipulation of somebody who is interested in you to do things for them. That would be my guess.
I think that's sort of right. I had to look this up because I heard it used on Dan Le Batard's show by Pablo Torres, and I didn't know what he was talking. I didn't know what I was like. I'm completely out of touch. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And so it was bothering me that I didn't know. So I asked Matthew if he knew. Did you know this one today? You didn't know this one either, did you? Sorta.
He sort of did.
He sort of did. Yeah.
Más o menos. That's what he just gave me.
I had no idea. It's a sexy photo posted on social media to attract attention. It can also refer to a person who's considered sexy and is a social media crush, like you manipulate. But you post a picture of, let's say if it were me, with the body that I have, if I were to take off my shirt to send out a tweet with a picture attached
Larry
to it,
Fedora.
Yeah, there you go. All of a sudden, I'd be considered a thirst trapper.
Right.
I would be thirst trapping.
Oh, this happens all the time with like.
And by the way, I hope you caught the sarcasm, people at home. I would not take off my shirt.
I didn't blink twice.
No.
Beach photos, right? Young ladies during trips to the beach, and they're like blessed to live another day, and they've got essentially a G-string on. You're like,
yeah,
if you're blessed to live another day, how about taking a photo from a church pew?
Yeah, or
what the hell is this?
How about a picture of the sunset? Yes, right. Yeah, no.
Not that I'm overall complaining, but the idea being, if you were saying blessed to live another day,
you're not saying that at all. You're saying, look at my ass.
Correct.
Yes, I got you. Yeah.
Okay, so that's thirst trapping. All right.
That's thirst trapping. Or you send a picture of a bowl of spaghetti that you made, but you do so, you're topless, and you're like, look at this spaghetti. That's not what you.
John 3:16. You in a bowl of spaghetti,
shirtless,
and they're hanging out.
Yeah. That's what that is. Yeah. Look at this spaghetti. I think I should start doing that. I think every Friday I should take a picture that has nothing to do with nothing.
I think you've captured social media for people 23 and under.
Yeah.
Is like, that's it. John 3:16, bowl of spaghetti topless.
That's it. That's social media. Dumb as hell. Look at me. I should start doing it because just to be funny, and people who aren't hearing this segment will be like, Cameron's lost it.
That happens in sports all the time. I can tell you because the Mets fans specifically, I follow quite a few of them, and not the ones here locally in Tallahassee, like good ones, and they're good, but good ones in New York that are, they're connected to the daily goings on in the conversation up there. I like having smart fans.
Yeah, you want to know,
But these folks will respond to a thirst trapper who is wearing like a cut down V cut New York Mets shirt, and it's form fitting, and it's like, I love my Mets.
Yeah, go Mets.
It's like, you're not saying go Mets. You're saying I need attention because these are amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me make sure to filter it just the right way too.
Oh, and the angle has to be just right and everything else. Yeah, of course. Yeah. So now we know. I'm learning, man. I learned about the letters, and that came from a SpongeBob episode where it's the greatest premise ever for a cartoon that if SpongeBob witnesses somebody wearing plaid, he turns into a chicken. That is incredible.
That reminds me of the South Park where Cartman has the probe stuck up his derriere, and when they signal him, he sings "Hello, my baby, hello, my darling," and his eyes turn really like the allies from the cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh no, I like to sing. I like to sing about the moon and the June and the spring. That's what it is. Yeah.
Fantastic. No, the more absurd, the better. So that is incredible, first of all, that was a SpongeBob episode that I never saw. Had I been watching that particular... And I feel like I've seen every SpongeBob episode because my kids still love SpongeBob. They watch it every night.
They will when they're 10 years older.
Yeah. So it's always on. I walk in the room, they're watching that or Bob's Burgers incessantly, which I also love. And... I love Bob's Burgers.
Bob's Burgers is all right.
No, it's funny. I love it. I watch it all the time. I have fallen in love with every character on that show. Like, there's something about each character on that show that I adore. When I see them, I'm like, oh, awesome, they're here. Like, it's like an old friend coming to your house. Like, if you invite 7 people to your house and you love all 7, as each one comes through the door, you're reminded of why. And so you open, Ted! And in your head, you're like, what makes Ted special? I'm so happy Ted's here. And then Mary comes, hey, Mary! And that's when I watch Bob's Burgers. Every character.
There's one mutual friend of ours. Maybe you can guess who this person is. But when they say, I love this part. Like, so they say, hey, do you want to meet up, do this? And if the answer is no, the answer is always like, you sorry sack. And like, I just almost like, I appreciate the hell out of you. I love that. I almost want to say no more.
Just so
I can get that response because I love that phrase.
That's really funny. All right. I'm getting hipper was the point of that segment. I now know what thirst trapping is. Thirst trapping. Who the hell came up with that?
It came from the thirst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very careful anymore. I read stuff all the time that I'm like, I have no idea.
Here's where I'm not hip, though.
I don't know what they're trying to say.
I tried to apply that to a real life setting. Of course, it wasn't about a real life setting. Of course, it was about liking a photo and making sure that you respond to somebody saying, I love the Mets too.
Right.
From Gordo's Restaurants and Bumpa's Local 349. I just want to let you guys know that we here in the local community love to have you back. It's 25%, we know, but we're doing the best that we can to serve you and do what we do the way we do it. Same great food, a little bit more space. And we're not the only ones. There's lots of local restaurants out there. Just remember, eat local, drink local, be local. Come see us.
Who's ready for the best wings in Tally and locally brewed beers? Hobbit American Grill is the place to be. They've been voted Tally's best wings again in 2018. Hobbit offers Bingo Mondays, happy hour all-day Fridays with craft beers on tap from all the local breweries. And the Hobbit is your home for all the UFC fights with plenty of high-def TVs for everyone. Be on the lookout for the food truck coming soon with the best lip-smacking wings in town. Hobbit American Grill, celebrating 40 years of serving great food to great friends for good times. For info on their hours and 3 locations, visit them online at myhobbitonline.com.
This hour on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping. AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping reminds you to prepare your property for hurricane season. Call AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319. That's 385-3319.
You've known for a while now that the best place to grab lunch in downtown Tallahassee is Metro Deli. But did you know that Metro Deli is now offering its own online grocery list? That's right. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to check out all of the best offerings of meats, cheeses, breads, egg salad, tuna salad, signature dishes, and more from your friends at Metro Deli. Metro Deli, more than just a lunch shop, now your corner deli market. Head to MetroDeliTally.com today to support those who support local hospitality workers during the COVID-19 crisis.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. There's never been anything quite like the all-new Jeep Gladiator, engineered from the ground up to be a true pickup truck, backed by legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability. Now, drive forward with employee pricing on all new Jeep Gladiators. Save up to $6,309 off MSRP. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. America's most loyal pickup owners, Ram. Outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost 12 models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Drive forward only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee. Jeep pricing on all Gladiators excluding Rubicon and Overland.
The Florida Lottery has awarded nearly 900,000 Bright Future scholarships and counting. That means Bright Future scholars are everywhere.
They are doctors,
teachers,
scientists,
even artists.
They are shining in every field imaginable. And every day, more students are preparing for their moment in the spotlight. With Bright Futures and the Florida Lottery.
Seminole Headlines, Podcast Edition, is presented to you by the Morgan Law Group, representing the policyholder, going after the insurance companies. Offices, Miami, Orlando, Naples, and Panama City. Online at policyadvocate.com.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up and get back to playing the game we all love. Edwin Watts Golf Shop is now fully reopened to serve all your golfing needs. Our team has taken precautions to ensure your shopping safety when you visit our stores. Come in today and get the best deals on clubs, bags, balls, apparel, and more. And at Edwin Watts, we offer free custom club fitting, club repair, and trade-ins. Now, let's get out there and play some golf. Edwin Watts Golf Shop, home of the 90-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Business owners and CEOs apply now for the Tallahassee Small Business Executive Program, designed to help business owners and CEOs think differently and become more efficient in running their businesses. This program is presented by the Jim Moran Institute in Florida State University's College of Business, offered at no cost to the participant. The program meets once a month beginning in August. More information is available at jimmoraninstitute.fsu.edu. That's Jim Moran Institute.fsu.edu.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Stan Van Gundy with us on ESPN Radio. What did you make? I know this had to drive you crazy, of all the people saying on The Last Dance documentary, I wouldn't let us lose. Michael wouldn't let us lose. It wasn't one of the options.
I've always loved that saying in sports. And the one I heard first on The Last Dance was when they were playing Phoenix in the finals, and Charles Barkley said that about himself. I think it was Game 3 after they'd lost a couple. I wasn't going to let us lose. And every time I hear that, I'm saying, so then you decided to let them win the other 4 games? Like you decided I would let us lose the other 4? I've always wondered about some of these things in sports, like, oh, he wouldn't let them lose. Well, wait a minute, they lost X number of games that year. What was his decision in those? I don't get that.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
I let the others cast stones while I drew in the dust.
We had a hunch yesterday as we sat down to do the show, and we knew we were going to talk about Mike Norvell and Marvin Wilson and their dispute, their disagreement, their miscommunication or misunderstanding. And I'm happy that we did, because it means we thought very highly of both individuals involved. I think that's where I was comfortable with saying that I thought this was going to end up being a good thing for Florida State. It's because we both, so far, we haven't had a reason to dislike or distrust Mike Norvell, and we do like Marvin Wilson. We have had opportunities to talk to him on multiple occasions, and he's an interesting kid and a hard worker, and he's represented the school and himself exceptionally well, and so I didn't have any reason to believe that they wouldn't be able to work through this. There seemed to be a lot of trust there. And that's exactly what's happened. If you look at the aftermath today of all of the stories in totality from yesterday, and by the time we kind of closed the books on yesterday's show, and really maybe last night when you laid your head on the pillow, you went to bed realizing, this could really be a catalyst for further growth and bonding, and a moment in the program that we look back on and say, gosh, it was uncomfortable at the time, but the best thing that ever happened to Mike Norvell and the way that he was able to accelerate trust and connection with his players was that incident with Marvin Wilson. Like, you'd be looking back years from now saying that as Florida State has rebounded to a place where they're in contention to win the ACC every year and they're a top 10 program. I do think that's not an overstatement. I do think that you're going to probably have that conversation. We're going to be looking back at that if, in fact, that turnaround happens, meaning they win enough games to be able to compel kids of elite skill sets to say yes to Florida State. This could be seen not as a divisive thing at all, but rather something that worked in his favor.
Yeah, well, it could unify you if it's real. That's the whole thing. The conversation's got to be real. And when that meeting was over yesterday, I just remember scouring the social media sphere, because that's where you would hear about it if it didn't go over well. You'd hear players and their voices immediately. They would flock to Twitter, Instagram, whatever outlet they choose, and they'd say, nope, not genuine. We've got a problem here. And there was nothing. It was quiet until, 1:30, 2 o'clock. And then they started raining in. You had Marvin's post, followed by a lot of quote tweets and a lot of other comments from players. And I got up to maybe 5 or 6 as of last night, and then there's a couple more that trickled in the last 24 hours. But all saying the same thing, that we're stronger for it, that we're 100%, we're moving forward. And that's good. And, there are a lot of things in a time like this where society is going through difficult times, that you'll hear a phrase, or you'll see a slogan, or you'll hear a long speech, and it's going to resonate with you. I've had a couple already that have impacted me, but a quick phrase from yesterday that'll stick with me is Director Coburn. And in watching his clip and seeing the emotion that he delivered his address on Zoom, you have to become comfortable with the uncomfortable. That is so true. And I think that is exactly what took place yesterday. And it could make the program a lot stronger for it.
It sounds like, in some regards, it already has. If you are judging by the players' reaction to the meeting and the conversations that took place in it, if you just use the players' reaction, after all, they're the ones who matter here most. And many of the players that attended that meeting had nothing but positive things to say about how that meeting was handled, the conversations that took place, and moreover, they came out not just satisfied that their questions or their frustrations were addressed and answered. They came out gushing about Mike Norvell. You have players using the words like, we love him even more now. Love's pretty strong to throw around there. I think he further elevated whatever, which I have to believe was a very positive relationship with the vast majority of his players anyhow. We've talked about this. I am speculating. I have no choice but to do so because I'm not in that locker room every day, but I know from what I've heard from players and what I witnessed at practice that there seems to be real trust being built there. I think that was accelerated.
Yeah, I think trust and respect. I don't know about, outright love, but this is something that could speed that up. You're right. Speed up the process of bonding, because they didn't have spring practice together, so they've known him on the periphery, and they've had team meetings, and they've had the videos that he sends weekly, and those types of interactions. But if you're not a star player, or you're not in the segment that the coach specializes in, I don't know how much you can bond with the head coach. But for a situation like this, it could end up being something that serves the greater good. But it's just, I think it's a lesson that's worth considering for those who want to stay in their own trench on this argument that we're having as a country right now. Conversations are good things. They are fundamentally good things. There are times in a professional setting where an order must be delivered and you've got to follow that. But in the real world, when we're talking about big issues, conversations can help a situation and make them better than they were before they even started. Look at our own example with this football program.
Yeah, and I tend to think too, big picture stuff here when we talk about these discussions and we talk about dialogue. Individuals are all right with me. When I speak with individuals, when I meet people for the first time, when I talk and sit across from somebody I've never met before, 99% of my interactions with other human beings are pleasant. Individuals are fine. Groupthink is very difficult, and a lot of people in groups will do things and behave in certain ways, whether that's a police force, whether that is a peaceful protest, will do things that they wouldn't otherwise do if they were by themselves. They're influenced by the moment in a large group. I say that to say this. I think the vast majority of the people in this country absolutely agree that we have got to do a better job of educating our policemen and women and arriving at fair and even justice for African Americans as well as whites, it has to be the same, right? It has to be the same. It's a difficult task because it's a cancer that has been operating unchecked for hundreds of years here. That's what systemic racism is. I don't think there's an argument. I think 95% of the country would go, yeah, it's a problem. We need to get it fixed. I think people believe that. I think it's the fringes, the racists that are very loud that would have you believe that it's a larger argument than it really is. No, I think most people are well-meaning. Most individuals understand that it's not okay to just kill an unarmed black man. It's not okay. Who would think that's okay? Nobody. Nobody thinks that okay. No sane person thinks that's okay. So I guess my point is, when you're looking for hope or you want to feel better, the truth is, in my mind, almost all the rational people of the world agree it's not okay. And we have to put an end to it. We are in agreement on this.
Yeah, I think that's largely the case. The hard part I have with it right now is people on a human level, on a social level, in a physical setting, which we're doing less of right now because of the pandemic.
Yeah. I forgot that's going on too.
There'll be, and that's still quite real. We'll see what the numbers look like in a couple of weeks. It'll be fascinating in a bad way, probably. But we have a physical conversation with somebody, and then they get behind a keyboard, and they can be anonymous about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That, where I agree with you largely, I will put a caveat. Social media has given a window into somebody's heart that maybe they don't show you when you talk to them over a beer.
Yeah, they tell on themselves. It's a good thing. It's one of the few good things about social media.
It is, but they're allowed to anonymously, which is partly a problem.
It's
I think
been a
one of the pathways out of social media crisis would be somehow you attach your identity to everything you post, and so therefore it's documented for the world to see that that's you. But that's the one concern I have is people feel a whole lot tougher when they're on a message board.
Of course
or social
they do,
media.
because they don't have to confront the individuals they're speaking to.
But you would be stunned that those people who write reprehensible things, you'd sit down next to and you'd have a perfectly amicable conversation with them. That's the thing where I have a hard time.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. Well, what my frustration is a lot of times that these things get conflated to other causes that aren't at issue. They're not what's being discussed. It's like Drew Brees not understanding that it was never about the flag.
Right.
So these things get conflated in weird ways, and they morph into something entirely different. Because what I meant, and maybe I didn't state it succinctly, I don't know. I have to go back and listen to what I said. But what I was just trying to get across here is that no rational human being that would sit across from you would say, I think it's okay to kill innocent black people. No, nobody. People in general, they would say that, but since the black community has been most adversely affected by this issue, that's why it's Black Lives Matter. It's, of course, Black Lives Matter, and Black Lives Matter, the organization, is not saying that white lives don't. That's not what they're saying. If you have three houses that are all of equal value, the one that's on fire is going to get the attention. As it should, it's burning. So dumbasses who say things like all lives matter, you don't get it. You don't understand. It's not hard.
You don't go to a colon cancer fundraiser and say, screw you people. What about brain cancer?
Right.
You either donate or you don't. You either help or you don't.
Right.
Do you want to help or not?
But the point
Pretty
is
simple.
Yeah, it's not hard. It's not hard to understand. And I think if you were to sit across from somebody and say, do you think what you saw in that video, the killing of George Floyd, is okay? 99% of people would say, no, that's not okay.
And they are, I think. Yes.
Obviously, that's what's led to this.
Yeah.
I think the outrage that stems from that murder is evidence of what my point is, and that is that nobody thinks that's okay. Nobody. White, black, Hispanic, nobody. No human being thinks that's okay. We're in agreement more than we're not. It gets conflated to other issues. It somehow gets put into other categories time and again. It's manipulated for other causes and other, Yeah, you're right. This is where social media happens because people take it and they use it in their own pet peeve, whatever it is.
For me, I don't understand why we can't prioritize different causes at different times when the need is at its highest or the need is significant. Mm-hmm. What's so wrong with shifting priorities every once in a while from and every
whatever
once in a while?
Be, yeah.
Well, that's not even close to accurate. It's like, how about centuries and then
right,
once in a while, like finally. But what's so wrong with helping people who are asking for help and who need your help? Like on a very fundamental level. What's so wrong with that?
You're making the same point that I am, and I think, Tom, there isn't anything wrong with that, and most people, almost all people, would agree with you. This isn't a political thing.
But the moment you apply that idea to this particular issue, for some reason it becomes political. And that doesn't make any sense in the world.
No, it doesn't. So you don't have to let it become that. Yeah. If you're that person who somehow turns this into a debate about Republican or Democrat or whatever it is, no, you're getting this wrong. This is about humanity. This is about the fair treatment of individuals. This is about not remaining silent while somebody, in particular, a group of people, black people, are being killed disproportionately. Who's against that? Who's against that? Racists. That's it.
Sounds about right to me.
It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. We need to know that individuals and or companies have our health and best interest in mind, and I can tell you this is most certainly the case at Orange Theory Fitness. As a member, I like to take classes 4 days a week, bare minimum, and I ventured back over to do some training just as they opened this week, and I can attest to the steps taken to ensure your safety. Well, they're extraordinary, frankly. I doubt you can find a hospital as clean as Orange Theory Fitness is currently and will remain dedicated to being. So if you're concerned, maybe a little unsure, well, that's okay. But just know Orange Theory Fitness is open once again and is 100% dedicated to ensuring you get back into shape safely in an environment you can trust. Give Orange Theory Fitness a try today or check them out at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachia Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Florida Lottery has awarded nearly 900,000 Bright Future scholarships and counting. That means Bright Future scholars are everywhere.
They are doctors,
teachers,
scientists,
even artists.
They are shining in every field imaginable. And every day, more students are preparing for their moment in the spotlight. With Bright Futures and the Florida Lottery.
With a Bojangles 3-piece Chicken Supreme snack, you get a plate of bold, boneless chicken and a hot, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit for just $3.99. Or, if you'd rather 2 pieces of bone-in fried chicken with a biscuit and a fixin', don't you worry, because that's $3.99 too. It's such a good deal, you can knock out dinner and balance your budget in one fell swoop. Because if you're going to take out 2 birds with 1 stone, they ought to be delicious. Bojangles. It's bow time.
Cigars of Tally is your one-stop shop for everything cigars. With 2 convenient locations, Cigars of Tally is here to serve you. The 1401 Market Street location is right off I-10 and great for travelers and after-work stops. The Midtown location, Cigars of Tally Lounge and Bar at 926 North Monroe Street, is great for those winding down from a long day. With the largest humidor in town, affordable cigar lockers, a large covered patio, and private conference rooms, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Cigars of Tally, open 7 days a week. Need cigars? Get your ash in here.
Promotional consideration for 97.9 ESPN Radio is provided by the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship. Online at jimmoraninstitute.fsu.edu.
Golfers, it's time to tee it up and get back to playing the game we all love. Edwin Watts Golf Shop is now fully reopened to serve all your golfing needs. Our team has taken precautions to ensure your shopping safety when you visit our stores. Come in today and get the best deals on clubs, bags, balls, apparel, and more. And at Edwin Watts, we offer free custom club fitting, club repair, and trade-ins. Now, let's get out there and play some golf. Edwin Watts Golf Shop, home of the 90-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
This hour on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping. AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping reminds you to prepare your property for hurricane season. Call AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319. That's 385-3319.
The good folks at AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping say it's time to prepare your property for hurricane season. It's crucial to have trees inspected before a hurricane. Removing dead or hazardous trees and limbs is your best protection against property damage. Don't be reactive to the weather. Be proactive. Have your trees professionally trimmed or removed before it's too late. AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping has been providing tree inspection, trimming, and removal in our community for over 30 years. Call AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping at 385-3319.
Driving every day from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. There's never been anything quite like the all-new Jeep Gladiator, engineered from the ground up to be a true pickup truck, backed by legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability. Now, drive forward with employee pricing on all new Jeep Gladiators. Save up to $6,309 off MSRP. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. America's most loyal pickup owners, Ram. Outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost 12 models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Drive forward only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax, tag, and dealer fee. Jeep pricing on all Gladiators excluding Rubicon and Overland.
Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachian Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Final hour of the Jeff Cameron Show on this. Sort of, I hesitate to say Libations Friday, but it's going to be, I can tell you that. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming, free always. Don't miss anything. If you do, we'll try to make it easy on you. We'll post all 3 hours as we did yesterday. on iTunes, as we do every day when the show concludes. By the way, it is back up and running on YouTube as well, as Director Matthew back in the fold. So it's good to be with you on YouTube. You can email if you like, jcs at 979espnradio.com. On Twitter, it's at jcameron.show, WTSM app. And again, fire away. A lot of ways to contact us. Express yourself there. We'll read it. Can't promise I'll get back to you, but I do appreciate the input. Man, I was just sitting here during the break. I know we talked about it earlier, Tom, quite a bit. I've been worried about this situation with Major League Baseball all along. They have a history of being stupid. Major League Baseball does. And, I'm also not a big believer in Rob Manfred, and I don't trust the Players Union either. So we're just in an impossible spot. It looks like they're really going to do this. They're really going to screw this up. Unreal.
Yeah, I think right now my expectation would be that they play that 50 or 60 game slate that MLB has proposed, because if the players are not going to accept further salary cuts and MLB is willing to pay the full prorated salary for 50 or 60 games, seems to me like that would be the middle ground you're going to land on. And you just got to start talking about how you're going to return to play. But they had the chance to have an entire month to themselves. Starting with the July 4th holiday, a return to normalcy, even if it's an echo of what is to come in the future, right? That is what they had the chance to do. Because NBA is full steam ahead, and it's still July 31st before they return. Idiots. Just a bunch of dumbasses on all sides. And if they had a full CBA for the next 10 years, this never would have happened. This is all posturing for the December 2021 expiration of the current CBA. It has nothing to do with the now.
Mm-hmm.
Idiots.
Yeah, and because collectively, so what you look at them, it's almost as if you're venting against an individual, right? But the entity of baseball, of course, is made up of a ton of people, all with varying degrees of influence, and they all have a different opinion on this matter. But if they could understand that they had to think collectively, jointly, work their way through this puzzle, then they would understand the importance of getting on the field to not only the money, but the perception of what baseball is in the sporting world and what it can represent. The opportunity in a really difficult time to become something more than what they are currently, which is well down the list of things people tune into to watch anymore. You dumbasses.
I'm furious at the owners because they think, saving $1 million for the entirety of the year. $1 million. I mean, like a third-rate pitcher now. Your 3-starter earns $15 to $20 million a year.
Right.
If you're in a competitive market or you're a competitive ball club. So $1 million for the entirety of your minor league system. You can't do that? You can't keep the players paid for $1 million? Things like that piss me off about the ownership.
Of course.
Secondly, about the draft, the way they're doing the draft. That's going to have reverberations here in Tallahassee with what college baseball looks like. Maybe it's to the betterment of college baseball, but it just shakes up all the works.
Right.
And then for the players, their message has not been concise. It's not been easy to consume. When it is, people side with you. If your message is very simple, stop killing people. Like, that's an easy thing to get behind, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, for MLB, it should have been show us the damn books. You know why the NBA agrees?
Yeah, because they are open.
They see the numbers.
They all know what it is.
They see the numbers.
Well, they give their players a lot of leeway and leverage and power, and it's a wonderful, and in my opinion, it's not only a wonderful working relationship, it's a wonderful way to do business, but it's also why they get things done. They all get it done immediately. Everybody understands. The players trust the commissioner of the league. They trust him to make good decisions on their behalf in many cases because he's earned that trust. And that came from the previous commissioner on down. David Stern was well thought of as a commissioner, and he was able to rule with an iron fist in a weird way because he gave so much freedom, if that makes any sense, right? When there was a moment that he had to be the dissenting voice, the final say on a matter of great importance, the malice in the palace, whatever it might be, right? They took whatever discipline he doled because of all of the freedoms they had previous and the voice they had in the room previous.
Well, and this is supposed to be the easy part. I saw Windhorst today on Get Up, and he's been an alarmist through this whole thing. When China first delayed returning, he said there's no way the NBA plays this year.
Correct, yes.
So I'm keeping notes on all this crap.
I got you, Wendy.
Yeah, both in news and sports, all that. Keeping notes. Mm-hmm. But he said, here's the thing. The easy part is agreeing to the path to play. And I agree with this. That's the easy part. You agree to the parameters of being a postseason for NBA or NHL. But then actually how you carry it out and roll out the safety precautions, the health precautions, who can be in whatever bubble you're in, the resorts, the travel, cooking, trainers, where do the coaches stand, all this stuff, right? He said that the NBA document is poised to be 100+ pages for that particular part of the process.
Wow.
And hammering out all that stuff between the league and the association is going to be hell. Well, if baseball can't get the easy part, how the hell are they going to get through the hard part when it comes to negotiating the bubbles, home cities, travel, who can travel with you?
What you're getting to is ultimately the point to be made here, and that is they're not going to play baseball this year. This is looking like it's a lost cause.
I'm thinking it's 50-50 now between having that prorated third of a season. But, I mean, even that.
I don't even know why you do that.
A 50-game season.
Why play 50 games? Don't even play. That doesn't make any sense.
I got a text from my buddy who's dialed into the economics of Tampa and stuff. He said down there's an article that states that the Cubs owner claimed that 70% of their revenue comes from the gate.
Yeah, this is starting to get interesting because...
70%? When you're talking about the billions of dollars that they make on their regional sports deals, I mean,
so 81 home games nets them 70% of their profits.
If that's the case, then this sport might as well shut down until people can be in the stands. I don't buy that for a second. I don't think the players should either. Release those numbers. 70%?
Quote from Tom Ricketts, the league itself does not make a lot of cash. I think there's a perception that we hoard cash and we take money out, and it's all sitting in a pile that we've collected over the years. Well, it isn't, because no one anticipated a pandemic. Moreover, the league doesn't generate a lot of cash. That's the Chicago Cubs owner.
If he's claiming it's even 60% that they make from the gate, that better be just ticket stubs. It better not be gear, concessions, all that.
Oh, I bet it is. I bet that's what's implied.
They're probably implying the gear that you get at Cubs.com/shop.
Well, yeah, there's no doubt that they're probably talking about the money they make from butts and seats, but a concession stand is a big part of that. Parking is a huge part of that. A lot of these clubs own their parking lots, and they make the money, the revenue off of that. That is, I'm sure that's the only way you could get to 60 or 70% is that you're counting the beer, the hot dogs, the nachos, the parking, the shirt that you bought while you were there for your kid, the hat, all of it.
But the one thing that confuses me, and this would be in line now, if MLB is claiming that 40% of their overall revenue across all 30 teams is at the gate, you would need the Cubs and the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Dodgers and the Cardinals and even the Braves with the new stadium that kicks ass.
Well, in Houston, they sell out.
You would need them to be around that 60-70% revenue generating threshold in order for the league to average out at 40, right? I mean, you would have to have that. But that, to me, would signal a windfall, like beyond your costs, like at a crazy rate. I still just 40% for the entire league.
I'd like to
seems
see
rich.
Those, maybe we do end up seeing the books. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Triple A Tree experts in landscaping say it's time to prepare your property for hurricane season. It's crucial to have trees inspected before a hurricane. Removing dead or hazardous trees and limbs is your best protection against property damage. Don't be reactive to the weather. Be proactive. Have your trees professionally trimmed or removed before it's too late. Triple A Tree experts in landscaping has been providing tree inspection, trimming, and removal in our community for over 30 years. Call Triple A Tree experts in landscaping at 385-3319.
Business owners and CEOs apply now for the Tallahassee Small Business Executive Program, designed to help business owners and CEOs think differently and become more efficient in running their businesses. This program is presented by the Jim Moran Institute in Florida State University's College of Business, offered at no cost to the participant. The program meets once a month beginning in August. More information is available at jimmoraninstitute.fsu.edu. That's Jim Moran Institute.fsu.edu.
Come visit the new and exciting Hangar 38. This amazing place is for everyone listening right now. Practice your bowling skills, compete, and have fun. Whether you're a newbie, an all-star, or a beer frame champion, no matter how you roll, you'll find the best place to bowl is at Hangar 38. Hangar 38 is home to over 75 arcade games, so they're sure to have something for everyone. Zeppelin's at Hangar 38 is a premier full-service restaurant and sports bar, and it's also your place for birthday parties and company outings. Tallahassee, what are you waiting for? Come on out to Zeppelin's Hangar 38, 6668 Thomasville Road behind Walgreens.
The Florida Lottery has awarded nearly 900,000 Bright Future scholarships and counting. That means Bright Future scholars are everywhere.
They are doctors,
Teachers.
scientists,
Even artists.
They are shining in every field imaginable. And every day, more students are preparing for their moment in the spotlight. With Bright Futures and the Florida Lottery.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Promotional consideration for 97.9 ESPN Radio is provided by the Jim Moran Institute for Global Entrepreneurship. Online at jimmoraninstitute.fsu.edu.
Seminole headlines.
Tyler writes, good day, gentlemen, and Sweet Pea. As a guy who lost his dad, I'm backing the Team Dead Dad Duo, a.k.a. Ira and Sweet Pea. Which team would win a 2-on-2 basketball game, Jeff and his father, or Team Dead Dad Duo? Also, which player would be that a-hole closest to MJ in The Last Dance?
I mean, I like our chances.
Yeah, I think your dad is going to be obviously, Jeff, you're going to take a lot of shots. You're going to be the guy that shoots the most, but we're going to exploit whoever your dad's guarding.
I think that's probably a fair assessment. My dad would be a dead weight.
You just camp him out underneath the basket defensively. Keep his hands up.
Tell him, try to alter some shots, Pops. Yep. I don't want you to join the list of dead dads. Just get your arms up.
Yeah.
I would also, in that time, probably morph into MJ in The Last Dance because I'd have to take all the shots. I'd have to get the rebounds. I'd have to set up everything. And at some point, I'd be like, are you going to do anything, Dad, you useless ass? So then, therefore, I would be like MJ.
Tuesday night on 97.9 ESPN Radio. The Jeff Cameron Show is brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. Community, not competition. 2 Tallahassee locations. Midtown, 1321 Thomasville Road, and 1400 Village Square Boulevard in the Village Common Shopping Center.
Haven't done this in a while. Look forward to it. In fact, let's bring in my friend Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports, the website. Yes, go look at it and go figure out who you're going to bet on for the UFC 250 card. Let's welcome him in now. Hello, good sir. I hope that you and your family are doing well, staying safe, and are healthy.
We are, and have a lot to be thankful for, and hopefully the same for you.
Absolutely, yeah, very fortunate.
But I got to be honest with you. First 4 or 5 weeks were strange. I mean, there was twice I woke up and it was Monday and I thought it was Thursday, and another time it was Sunday and I thought it was Tuesday. So it took me a little while to get my bearings a couple mornings, but I just think that the reason I think I was able to kind of make it, I was able to exercise. I never exercised so much since college. So we had luckily bought a Peloton about 6 weeks before the pandemic broke. So the whole family was on the Peloton. They even have an app for walking, running,
yeah, I've seen
stretching.
It.
Yeah. You have a Peloton?
No, my friend does, and I've seen the app. I know what you're talking about.
Actually, you can use it for free, the app. The app might be better than the bike because they have all these instructors, and let's say you want to take a 30-minute walk and you want to listen to 90s music. They got it. Bam. Bunch of them, different instructors doing it. So, and then on top of that, I'm not one of these. I have pretty good genetics, but now I'm 57 years old, So I got to start working on the core. I've been using the app for their core and stretching, which I don't do a whole lot of. And then something I'd never done before, which I'm enjoying, is meditation. So
I've been trying to meditate for years, man, and it is so hard. I can't get there. My brain will not quiet itself.
Okay, well, you try this, and there's some 10 and 15-minute meditations. You know what? There was some great breathing exercises.
I'm going to try it again over the weekend.
Down.
I've been trying forever.
See, what I do is I'm able to really get myself. I had never done it before, so I didn't have a problem with it. But sometimes they might say, "Okay, we want you to think of going to get ice cream." Well, I like ice cream, but I'd rather have a banana split and piece of steak before that, and then watch meditation. A game after that. So I get other things in my mind besides what they say. Sometimes I substitute some things.
Well, I would think that if you could just singularly focus on your breathing, and I can't even do that. I struggle to just focus.
Here's what I had a problem with at first. They told you to a couple instructors hold your breath in for 8 seconds. I can't do that.
You can't?
With one breath. So I cut it down to like 5 or 6 seconds, and then breathing out for 4 or 5 seconds. So you got to do what works for you. It might work for someone else, holding it in for 8 seconds. 8 seconds, and I'm struggling.
Never get rolled by a big wave, Lee. You're in trouble.
So I got to be honest. So I found that I've modified some of the things they do. The premise is good, and the teachers are good, but if they've been doing the stretching, I'm doing some of the stretching, and my wife and daughter help contort my body so I can do some basic stretch. I can't even touch my toes. Some of these things where you got to be on your side and you got to put your hand behind and touch the back of your foot.
Oh yeah,
they got to help me get into position.
No, listen, stretching is a bear for those of us over 40. I am the least flexible person you've ever met.
I was never flexible, so this is even
it drives me nuts.
So I just think you got to modify it.
All right, I'll start modifying. All right, I got a question for you.
Yep.
I'm trying to bet. There hasn't really been anything to bet on for some time. We're slowly easing back into it. Obviously, Bundesliga and European soccer, and we have that MLS is starting back, and we know the NBA is coming down the pike later on in July and all of that. But you found a little side action, a market that a lot of people have been engaged in. It took you a little while to get into it, and now you're kicking ass with the UFC cards, and we got one this weekend. So let's talk about it.
So here's the story. So one of the gentlemen that worked for me is a former MMA fighter, and he's been telling me for 3 or 4 years, you got to get about MMA. So we started doing it in the fall, and because football's going on, we sold a couple packages, 2, 3, 5 packages. I think one time our all-time high was 9. And I enjoy watching it, but I never had the time to really research it like he does. So we decided, starting in November, when football started tailing off a little bit, that I would start studying the card also with him. And together, I think we just have a great chemistry. And we put out 11 fights since last September. We had winning records in 9 of the 11. Now, last week we go 3-2, but we did hit our 50-unit selection. As you know, we rate the selections.
Yeah.
From 10 to 50 units. So first time I'd ever put I saw this kid, Chris Gutierrez, and I'm like, wow, I'm watching videos of him, and he's kicking people. He's dominating them by kicking, and it turned out he won almost all his fights by kicking, and they just couldn't even stop. Sometimes first, sometimes between the second and the third, but almost no opponent finished the fight. And I'm watching his opponent on tape, and I'm like, okay, every once in a while you get a gift. I'm like, this guy, he's a decent puncher, but he can't defend the kick at all. Well, it was minus 115. The odds should have been minus 400. And by middle of the second round, his opponent, Chris Gutierrez, he laid down and said, "I'm done. I can't go anymore. Couldn't walk anymore."
Keep getting kicked, man.
Only the 10th time that we had a stoppage in the UFC. Only the 10th time in a UFC event that they'd had a stoppage by kick. So I found something. I don't have something that strong. We have 5 selections for Saturday night's UFC 250, but there's some selections I like a lot. There'll be one that'll be a 40 unit, and I have 3 others that are 30 units. So
do you have?
I'm going to send them over to you. I'm going to email them to you, so you got them.
All right, I'll
you'll bet them, and I think we can win. But we're not going to actually even play. Have a selection on the top 2 fights.
No,
I'm looking to win.
Nunez, Spencer, you don't care about.
So, it's minus 650. Amanda Nunez is probably going to win, but are you going to wager 650 to win 100?
No, I'm not.
I mean, anything can happen. I've seen guys that just don't have a whole lot of talent land a lucky punch.
Well, in that sport, Lee, that's the hard part. You really are gambling, and that's okay. I like to. I don't think it's a bad word, but what I would say is, in a sport where everybody can get got, as they say,
right.
Anybody can get got. That's what makes the sport so electrifying and dangerous, because. Listen,
I like it better than boxing now. Do you?
I'm a traditionalist in that I love boxing and grew up watching boxing. I had a friend who boxed, and his dad was.
I think the boxing game is one of the things that hurt it also. On top of
the corruption,
just punching to the head and the stomach is that the judging was horrific.
Yeah, the corruption of that sport really sent it down a dark path, and people saw one too many screw jobs in which the fighter that dominated the fight got robbed, and you knew that something was amiss. And so when you don't believe in the integrity of which you're watching, it's like watching wrestling at that point. Right. You can't take it seriously.
Yeah, with King and Arum, I mean, it was a bad situation. So what's interesting about Amanda Nunez is there's been other people, men and women, who have won 2 belts. She's the only person to hold and also defend titles at 2 different divisions. Never happened before. So quite an athlete, quite a competitor, and that's what makes Amanda Nunez so special. And then another really tough fight, just because it's almost a pick'em, is Aljamain Sterling. You know, my brother from another mother.
Right.
He's nicknamed the Funk Master. He's facing Corey Sandhagen, and these 2 guys do like 3 things each really well. I would never play this game, this fight here. It's just too tough. But there's 2 I like. Okay, so I like the second fight of the night, Alonzo Menefeld, 32 years old, but a young 32. Hasn't fought much. Got into the game late. He's 9-0. 7, all 9 by stoppage. He's 9-0, 7 in the first round. He punches. He kicks. He can submit, ground and pound. He does it all. Don't think he's ready for a title fight yet, but just much better than Devin Clark. He's a journeyman. He's nicknamed the Brown Bear. I think Alonzo Menefeld puts the Brown Bear into an early hibernation here. And then I'm always up for a good feel-good story, and Ian Heinisch is a really good feel-good story. This is a guy that, when he was young, his parents lost their home to bankruptcy. Then his parents get divorced. He goes overseas, gets in with the wrong crowd, and gets busted for selling drugs, and has to serve jail time a couple of years. Now, you want to visit the Canary Islands, but you don't want to serve jail time in the Canary Islands.
Not a good idea.
He ends up serving a couple of years in jail there, and he must have done something before he left the country, so he had a hold on him when he comes back into the United States, and he has to serve over a year in Rikers Island. So
wow.
And he has come on the last couple fights as far as improvement. This kid can really grapple. Whenever he wins, he does a backflip. He trains part of his time in Thailand. His whole goal in life is just to own an MMA training headquarter and to train whoever wants to train at his facility, whether they have enough money or not. And I think that's great. So we're going to go to Ian Heinisch there, minus 125, and Alonzo Menefeld as a pick'em, not to win the fight. He's minus 225 to win the fight, as a pick'em to stop the fight somehow by a KO, TKO, or some type of.
All right, I like it. I got him in a pick'em. Yep. Matthew's writing this down in the other room. I see. We've got the picks going here. What you said? You had 3 that you liked, or just 2?
No, I've got 5 total. I'm going to email you the others.
Okay. All right. So those are the 2 freebies. And I like that you gave us the backstory. So we've got Heinisch. He's going to take out old Gerald there, and we've got Menefeld against Clark. Gotcha.
Right.
All right. I'm going to make the picks, and then I'm awaiting egerly the other 3.
Hey, we all need some wage reaction now.
I am jonesing hard.
I mean, They're even betting on Russian ping pong. And now, I'll play MMA because I understand it and I can watch a lot of tape. And, I know the fighters, and I've got someone who works for me who's very skilled in it. But betting Russian ping pong or Korean baseball, I think anyone that's doing that is doing a disservice to their client. All you're doing is you're just throwing darts.
Hey, Lee, be well, brother. It's good to talk to you.
You too. Take care, Jeff.
Take care. Lee Sterling, Paramount Sports. You guys who've listened to me over the years, I've just never really immersed myself into the MMA world. I watch it when it's on in the background for free. If there's an event that ESPN is carrying or whomever has it up, my kids like it because they're little boys, and little boys love to see guys beating the hell out of each other in virtually anything, anywhere. I don't know why. We're just predisposed to liking violence. It's testosterone. But my kids, if it's on, they will sit and watch every fight. They love it. I'm indifferent. And I do think it's because I was steeped in traditional boxing. I like it. I like boxing. Always have. And I know there is not only gross incompetence in that sport in terms of the judging over the years, but there is also downright fraud. And that makes it difficult. But when you can find a classic fight, two contrasting styles that is on the up and up, I watch that for days. I just haven't been able to do the same in MMA, and I do appreciate it. First of all, if you've ever boxed, the guys and the women who box or compete in MMA, I have nothing but admiration for, because the second you choose, in the case of boxing, to enter a ring like that, you're putting your life on the line. It's not an overstatement to say that you are putting your life on the line. And so I find all of those folks to be courageous. I do, in the realm of sport, as much as you can be courageous, right? Because that is, the man across from you or the woman across from you is capable. This isn't, Jed at the bar. The person across from you is capable of killing you. They've trained to do or come close to do just that. And there's a certain level of toughness mentally that you have to have once you're armed with that knowledge to still not only persevere and go through with the fight, but to adhere to whatever strategy you had going into the fight, to be thinking on a loop about what it is you're attempting to do, all the while knowing you're across from somebody who is doing the same and could kill you. It's unreal. It really is. And I have thought recently, I'm not going to lie, maybe it's because I'm interested in gambling on the sport. There's money to be made there. I have thought recently of getting more into it, and I perhaps I will. And it would, I think a lot of you out there over the years have asked me, "Hey Jeff, you never talk MMA," and a lot of us are into it. It might behoove you to start talking some MMA. And I think you're right. I think I'm wrong on this one. I didn't think there was an appetite for it on the show, but judging by my emails over the years and tweets and other forms of communication with the listeners, I do think that perhaps you guys are right, and I need to start getting into it. So maybe it starts this weekend with UFC 250 and play some wagers, thanks to our friend Lee Sterling of Paramount Sports. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Someone would love me for the places I have been and the dirt that I've been gathering deep beneath my nails. But now I know what I've been missing.
AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping remind you to prepare your property for hurricane season. If you have trees on your property, it is crucial to have them inspected before a major hurricane. Contact AAA Tree Experts in Landscaping today, 385-3319. That's 385-3319. Or online at AAATreeExperts.net. AAATreeExperts.net.
Hey guys, how are you? This is Eddie from Gordo's Restaurants and Bumpa's Local 349. I just want to let you guys know that we here in the local community love to have you back. It's 25%, we know, but we're doing the best that we can to serve you and do what we do the way we do it. Same great food, a little bit more space. And we're not the only ones. There's lots of local restaurants out there. Just remember, eat local, drink local, be local. Come see us.
So when my wife informed me that our floors were unacceptable, I knew one thing to be true. We were getting new floors. I know nothing about flooring. I mean, honestly, who does? They're floors. I asked around, and folks, that's correct, folks, and that's who I want to hear from when getting flooring advice, told me to call Brian Barnard's Flooring America. And you guessed it, I did, and I'm glad I did. And you will be too. They're professional, they're efficient, and they're informative. I learned a lot, but more importantly, I got beautiful floors. Give them a call today, 850-273-4373. And remember, Flooring America, friends send friends.
At Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram, we are open and ready for business. There's never been anything quite like the all-new Jeep Gladiator, engineered from the ground up to be a true pickup truck, backed by legendary Jeep brand 4x4 capability. Now, drive forward with employee pricing on all new Jeep Gladiators. Save up to $6,309 off MSRP. We can't be stopped celebrating these deals. America's most loyal pickup owners, Ram. Outrageous discounts up to $11,000 off MSRP on some remaining 2019 Rams. Receive 0% for 72 months on almost 12 models and save thousands. These savings are shocking. Drive forward only at Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram on the corner of Capitol Circle and West Tennessee. We're right on the corner and always right on the price. Must qualify through Chrysler Credit for special financing. All rebates and incentives apply, plus tax tag and dealer fee. Jeep pricing on all Gladiators excluding Rubicon and Overland.
Attention Tallahassee, Phase 1 is Phase Patio at the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill will be serving up the coldest, crispest refreshments and their signature delicious jumbo wings, all while adhering to responsible social distancing. You know this is the best time of the year to sit on the outdoor patio or deck, so make the Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway your first and most frequent stop for Phase Patio. The Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Order takeout today at cptallybar.com. That's cptallybar.com. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
This spring, I'm making Everyday Earth Day by incorporating small actions that can create big results.
Like what?
Well, I'm starting with daily habits, turning off the lights every time I leave a room, shutting off the tap when I brush my teeth, and unplugging electronics when I'm not using them.
Those are great ideas our whole family can do.
And since we're home more, I could also use your help with a few one-time projects that could benefit us long-term, like fixing water leaks and installing our rain barrel.
I'd love to help. Right after I call the City of Tallahassee Utilities at 891-4968 to sign up for paperless billing.
Excellent! Tonight, let's ask the kids if they have any ideas about what we can do to save energy, water, and money as we celebrate Earth Day at home.
2020 marks the 50th anniversary of Earth Day, and there are many things TLH can do to celebrate at home. Get inspiration at tlhcando.com. Small actions create big results. A message from the City of Tallahassee Utilities.
See, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Stan Van Gundy with us on ESPN Radio. What did you make? I know this had to drive you crazy, of all the people saying on the Last Dance documentary, I wouldn't let us lose. Michael wouldn't let us lose. It wasn't one of the options.
I've always loved that saying in sports. And the one I heard first on the Last Dance was when they were playing Phoenix in the finals, and Charles Barkley said that about himself. I think it was Game 3 after they'd lost a couple. I wasn't going to let us lose. And every time I hear that, I'm saying, so then you decided to let them win the other 4 games? Like you decided I would let us lose the other 4? I've always wondered about some of these things in sports, like, oh, he wouldn't let them lose. Well, wait a minute, they lost X number of games that year. What was his decision in those? I don't get that.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 10 a.m. on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Broadcasting live from the Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Studios in Florida's capital city. This is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Libations Friday, brought to you by Corner Pocket Bar and Grill. Corner Pocket Bar and Grill on Appalachie Parkway. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Goodbye, week. You can go to hell. I'm glad to be done with you. Not because there weren't moments that were highlighted by excellent sports talk radio right here on the Jeff Cameron Show. But because I'm tired and there was just too many disparate things going on, Tom. Weighty subjects on the show are always taxing, and that's fine. But when they're combined with your house being turned upside down while you get new flooring, driving up to Georgia, coming back from Georgia within 24 hours, and then also dealing with some other stuff, I'm just ready for the week to be done. I'm ready for a tall, cold one, and I'm going to partake. That's what I'm going to do.
I still have yet to have that Guinness.
What are you waiting on?
I don't know.
It's Guinness. It's there. It's in abundance at the Publix near you.
Yeah, I'm with you. See, now my house did not get turned upside down over these last couple of weeks.
I want to thank Brian Barnhart and Flooring America. They did a great job. Floors look awesome. I'm glad I went through it. They did it in a timely fashion. I'm not trying to imply anything, but the point is, anytime you get new floors, it's a hassle. There's no way around it.
Well, it's like the seasons of Stranger Things. You have to go through the upside down for the greater, ending to the story.
That's true.
And that's exactly, unless you're the redhead girl with the glasses, and then you're done. But yeah, that's what you went through this week. I mean, I'm glad that we've had as a country a lot of positive things.
Steps. Yeah.
There are a lot of ugly things too this week, and there's going to be more of it this weekend. Spoiler alert. From the sports perspective. Just solely the sports perspective, not the human perspective. There's golf in a week from now.
I know.
And it's PGA Tour golf, and it's high-quality golf, and it's going to be live on television, and it's real.
And it's going to start on Thursday in less than a week.
I'm thrilled for this.
I am thrilled. I'm over the moon about the return of the PGA Tour. Good on you, PGA Tour. Let's go.
And to those of you that are sitting at a bar top right now in the first hour of this gloriousness, hey, here's looking at you.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. That is available to happen now. Yeah, man, PGA Tour, I'm not going to lie. Not only do I love the sport, and I love watching it, and I love to play it, but I also like to bet on it. I like to gamble on golf. I'm pretty good at it. And I, as you know, am in a league with other gamblers that bet on every single PGA Tour event. And I didn't know that I was going to miss it as much as I have. But you get so geared up during the week, especially if you're coming off a hot streak and maybe you won the pool from the previous week and you just want to see if you can let that momentum, your scouting, maybe you're in the most, you called it yesterday, whatever it is, it's like a flow in yoga. Yeah. I get that way with kind of scouting certain tournaments and players over weeks at a time.
Well, flow is, that's like a course and a certain type of practice that they have.
Yeah.
And then the hard part is once you start mastering the elements and the movements and the positions you need to be in, then you're like, oh, wait, this whole breathing stuff that they started the class with, I'm supposed to apply now instead of the straining I'm going through trying to hold these positions.
Right. Yeah. I want to try that, by the way. But I feel like that was a good way of describing the kind of flow I get into. And you know what? It comes and goes. You just have a feeling about certain guys. I had a suspicion last year that On was going to have a great year.
Ben On.
I was all over him early on. And he did. He was fantastic. Nobody else jumped on him, Tom. This guy did. It's like when I rode Mark Leishman to victory for week in and week out.
Was it Ben On or Sung Kang? I thought it was Sung Kang. Or was that this year?
No. On has been really, really good for some time now. So has who's the other guy that's really good that's kind of came out of nowhere?
I thought it was Sung Kang because he was a top 20 machine like Leishman. You had found him.
I don't think it's Kang.
Ben On is the guy that Director Matthews lost quite a few dollars on.
Well, he did one time. For whatever reason, On went out and threw up like an 87 when Matthew needed him most.
It was like Jason Day with me. Yeah, I'm off Jason Day for life.
Who was it that got hot? I'm going to be guilty of like naming the wrong Asian man, and people will be like, "Well, dude, not all Asians are the same, Jeff. You're just throwing out random Asians." I think it was On, wasn't it? Let me look at the top 20.
Sunjae Im, says Matthew.
Im, that's correct. It's not On, it's Im. And I know not all Asian people are the same. Don't at me.
No.
I just made a mistake. On had a good run, too.
That's Nick Price, Nick Faldo.
Right. That's
Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson.
Right, that happens.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
So On Im. It was Im. Sungjae Im. That's my man.
Half the entries in our major pool, I have to go back and tell my aunts and uncles and my cousins, hey, did you mean Dustin or Justin? Because I get Justin Johnson and Dustin Thomas. So no, that's not what that is.
Oh, man. The official World Golf Rankings, Tom, just to let you know, as we enter starting play next week on a Thursday, read as follows. Rory McIlroy, number 1. Do you know who's number 2 in the world?
Number 2 in the world, Ricky Fowler.
That is incorrect. It's John Rahm. Also somebody who has not won a major. Brooks Koepka is 3, Justin Thomas is 4, and Dustin Johnson is 5th. I bet you don't know who's 6th.
6th is Shane Lowry.
Patrick Cantlay.
That's
6th in the world. That's amazing. I would not have guessed that Patrick Cantlay, I know he's had a good run, and I frequently select him in my golf pool, but I would not have guessed that he was a top 6 player in the world.
Would you throw out all of these rankings, though? Like, next week's draft is going to be very difficult for you, right? I mean...
Yeah, well, you got to go horses for courses a lot of times, and you got to... Sung J M, by the way, is in the top 25 in the world. And in the past year... Sung J M went from like 105th to 23rd. It just happened overnight.
Because he's first 2 pages of every leaderboard.
Well, he also plays every tournament. Literally plays every tournament. We joke about this all the time on the PGA Tour show. That one thing you know, if there's a golf tournament being played, Sung J M's in it. It's unbelievable.
That's like, you wonder what their goals are, and I mean this because Kiradech Aphibarnrat, who's been somebody who's floated around the edges of these tournaments. Sometimes you see him on a Saturday contending, and then he just goes away. What was interesting to me is during the match play a couple of years back out in Austin, they interview him after his round is over, and he said, well, I'm now in the top 10. I've made the final 8, so I'm in the top 10, and that's what I came here to do. I'm like, okay. So you don't care about first page of the leaderboard. You're not shooting to win this thing. I find that, like, I have derived satisfaction. This is good. Top 10.
Well, I would say this. Like, if you're Ryan Moore or you're, I don't know, Vaughn Taylor, you're these guys.
There are 2 more I get confused. Ryan Moore and J.B. Holmes.
J.B. Holmes. If you're one of these kinds of guys.
For the green glove.
If you're Joaquin Neiman or Ryan Palmer, if you're one of these kinds of guys that frequently litter the leaderboard, but you know is not going to win the tournament, if you're that guy, listen, I don't know that you go into every tournament with anything other than the goal of winning it, but certainly you know who you are, and you know what kind of player you are. So if we're being really honest with ourselves, make him the cut.
Yeah.
Like, if a guy gave an interview and said, made the cut, all right.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that would kind of be like, I get that. You know damn well you're not winning that tournament. You just needed to make the money that comes with being there on the weekend.
There's one guy I really enjoyed watching. This might have been a year ago or 2 years ago. Time doesn't mean the same thing anymore.
No, I know.
But Sam Burns. Sam Burns was a young gun.
Got hot, yeah.
And on a couple of consecutive weekends, maybe it was 2 out of 3, he showed moxie galore. Pressure shots, execution of pressure shots, and he had a little bit of something to him. When he make the putt, it wouldn't just be, all right, I made the putt. It'd be, you're damn right you went down the middle of the hole. What happened to Sam Burns?
I think he got hurt.
Okay. He had a little extra.
Well, he had some what for to him, and he wasn't afraid. There's no doubt. He was also funny. Remember he was paired with Tiger Woods, and he said that thing like they asked him what it was like with the gallery that was so big, and he said whatever he said about it, he's like, it's pretty amazing for all those people to come out and see me.
Yeah,
and
exactly. I wonder what Tiger's feeling.
Yeah. It was funny. That's a real thing, by the way. Most players, first time they get paired with Tiger Woods, fall to pieces. Not only because are they playing alongside the best player in the world, arguably the best player of all time, but you're subject to galleries that are 10 times larger than anything you've ever witnessed at a golf tournament.
Well, and you could tell really quickly if the people have it or they don't, and that's where Sam Burns, I think he does, and there are examples in the last couple of seasons that are clear. Tommy Fleetwood in the final group on a Sunday, John Rahm at the Players, that first tee shot, I thought he was going to cry just looking at his facial expression.
Which is weird because he's won on tour.
Harold Varner.
Oh, well.
Yeah, and Bethpage.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
But
buddy.
You see the moment, and it just gets too big for these guys.
Harold Varner was like, that went crazy. He went like triple-double or something. I'm like, oh, Harold, what are we doing out
the ball
here?
like suspended in the fescue. He had to hit it almost like off a tee. And some guys can respond to it, like Rory. We were wondering about Rory. Was he one of those? And then the next thing you know, after the Masters, he shows up at the U.S. Open, and he does what he does at Quail Hollow. But, Sam Burns, same situation. Like, oh, you can finish. You don't care. That's what Brooks has.
He certainly does. By the way, I wasn't crazy. I wasn't just randomly throwing out Asians' names and grouping them all as one. Byung-Young Ahn is in the top 50.
Of course he is.
Yeah, he
just fades. He's
Sung
also a
Kang is not in the top 50.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
Fair enough.
Kang's not any good, Tom. You used him. You thought he was good. He's not good.
Oh, well, maybe he was.
For a weekend.
These things fluctuate.
Yeah, he has. Well, I shouldn't say he's not any good. It's all relative. He's obviously very, very good. He's on the PGA Tour, and he has his card, so he doesn't suck. He's just not amongst the elite on the tour.
Well, you watch. He's going to go catch Sungjae Im.
He is. Kang is ranked higher than Bubba Watson. He's also ranked higher than one Jordan Spieth, who has plummeted. Much to your delight.
Yes, much to my delight. Now, when it clicks for him with the putter, it's going to click. I just don't know that he can keep it in the fairway. He has always been super fidgety.
Yes, he has been super fidgety.
So Golf Channel this week, they showed his win over Kuchar, which he took an hour on whatever hole that was.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Even with that, he hit 3 of 14 fairways, I think it was. It was either 3 of 13, Eddie, heading into the 18th, or 3 of 14. And he took out 2-iron on the final hole with a 2-shot lead. And Johnny Miller was still with NBC at the time. He goes, well, he only hit 3 fairways today. I think that's the right move, is to take a 2-iron out.
Man, I miss Johnny Miller so bad. I mean, goodness gracious, he's just brutal. I loved him. He just would, time and again, listening to those old broadcasts.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Yes, he is a great golf analyst. He went a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs towards the end, but
yeah.
I
forgot about that. He did go crazy. But beyond crazy.
Once he knew he was retiring, he could talk about the world.
Just say whatever he wanted to say.
Johnny, for
Johnny,
God's sake.
Yeah. Get a grip, Johnny. But I will say a couple things about Johnny Miller. He was a great player and a much better player than I ever realized until I finally bothered to look up the credentials. I knew who he was, but he was a really good player. And there was a 5-year window where he was a beast. And in addition to that, he's a huge dude. I met him at the Masters.
Yeah.
That's a big dude. I didn't realize Johnny Miller's got a little something to him.
Well, he and Jack were 2 big guys in that era.
He was lean.
Hulking figures.
Yeah. He was really lean. Jack was a
little doughy.
Yeah. But, Jack had huge forearms. He probably still does. But, yeah, he had huge forearms. When you see him in his youth out there swinging, you're like, damn, that dude's like Anquan Bolden out here. You see the forearms, you're like, oh, hey, he can hurt you.
Yeah, to like Arnold Palmer's slot receiver.
Yeah.
He was in really good shape, but he's a little bit tinier. And then Gary Player was, I don't even know, Darren Sproles.
Gary Player said something incredibly stupid last week. I called him out on it on the PGA Tour show. He said that Rory McIlroy and one other player, Phil Mickelson. He said Phil Mickelson and Rory McIlroy are not golf superstars. That you can only be a golf superstar if you've won at least 6 majors.
What?
What the hell is he talking about? That's dumb as hell.
So is Spieth not a superstar?
Not a superstar.
Now,
nobody.
Really? I mean, listen, for all the bashing of Spieth I do, that dude wasn't a superstar for 2 or 3 consecutive years?
He absolutely was, and it's just dumb. He said there's one exception to his rule about golf superstardom, and that was Seve. That Seve's personality was such that he didn't have to have...
Oh, wait, so personality can bring you into the conversation. I was hoping you'd say Ricky Fowler.
No.
My one exception is young Ricky Fowler.
Well, here's the thing. Ricky Fowler is a superstar. Hence, every TV commercial you see him in. He's a superstar, regardless of the fact that the best he's ever done and most significant win in his career is the Players, and it's a significant win. He has won the Players, which is coveted by most players on tour because of the field. So, but he's not won a major.
And the Black Knight.
And the Squire.
For the love of golf, go.
Yeah, he's.
This message is from 1998.
Yeah, and I try to keep in mind that he's 100, and so
he's a weird guy though.
Old people start losing it.
Well, no, like the top 10 weirdest things he said. I mean, he's got a list.
Has he said other crazy things?
Oh,
I gotta look him up.
Sir.
I mean, I know Gary Player. I just didn't know.
Like he wanted to have a course where there was like a safari course with just wild animals roaming and stuff.
That's interesting. Oh, a tiger has gotten so and so. He's not going to finish the round.
He's wired a bit oddly.
Spieth, by the way, as we finish it up here,
sucks.
Currently, he's struggling. Yes, that is correct. He has dropped 24 rankings points in the last year.
Yeesh.
But he's currently, if I told you at any point during the height of his game and his dominance on the PGA Tour, which 2015 he was. I mean,
he was the game.
He was the game. If I told you, fast forward 5 years, given how young and talented he was, and that he would be ranked behind Graham McDowell currently, or that he would be ranked behind Scotty Scheffler, or that he'd be ranked behind Brandt Snedeker, or that he'd be ranked behind Sung Kang, or that he'd be ranked behind Brendan Todd.
Where is Sung? Where is he?
55th.
Oh, that's it. Listen, you can get right in the top 30.
If he was that I would tell you he was ranked behind Adam Hadwood and Brendan Todd.
Brendan Todd hurts. Adam Hadwin's pretty good.
If I told you that he would be ranked behind Scotty Scheffler, I already mentioned him. Oh, Rafa Cabello-Bayo. If I told you he'd be...
He hasn't been a damn thing in 5 years.
If I told you he'd be ranked behind Victor Perez. If I told you he'd be ranked behind Sergio Garcia. Ranked behind Ches Reavie.
I've never heard of Victor Perez. I've heard of every other player so far that you've listed.
Eric Van Rooyen. He's ranked behind Eric Van Rooyen.
That dude's a stud on the Euro Tour.
He's ranked behind Matt Wallace. Who's Matt Wallace?
That's like the 19, 20-year-old British kid. Remember, he played in the Ryder Cup at like 18.
Yeah.
4 years ago.
Well,
so
he's ranked behind Matt Wallace as well. He's ranked behind Billy Horschel and Danny Willett. Danny Willett.
Danny Willett?
Danny Willett's 33rd in the world. There's your boy, Danny Willett, out there just making cuts.
I've won the Masters.
Yeah.
And nothing else since.
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to give him credit. Apparently, Danny Willett nearly had a nervous breakdown. Obviously, we know.
His brother's outspoken on social media.
Is he?
Oh, yeah. His brother is social media famous for being outspoken when Danny was winning the Masters, and it was like funny, but then he took himself a little too seriously after that.
Oh, well, all I know is that he has one PGA Tour win. It's the Masters. It's pretty amazing if you're going to win one. But he, at one point, fell off the map, was about to be out of golf, and he's fought his way back into the top 50. So whatever he lost was found again. It's not quite Justin Rose's story, but it's close.
So Graham McDowell won something this season. I forget what event it was. And it was super important, and this is what breaks my heart, is I really feel like now it's a 15 to 20% chance that we're going to be able to get on a plane and go see the Ryder Cup. We still have the tickets, and we have the reservations. But Graham McDowell winning ensured that he'd be playing.
Oh, and he'll never be on it.
I don't know that he'll be on it next year.
Right.
I mean, he might be.
Probably not.
But Graham McDowell is one of my favorite golfers. That dude has will that carries his game to places it has no business being. And he's awesome.
Yeah, he's got 10 international victories. He's won 4 PGA Tour events. That includes a major.
Yeah, U.S. Open, right?
Yeah. And
didn't he win at Pebble?
I think he won at Pebble. That's correct, yeah.
Just steely nerves, that guy. Like, even more so than Poulter, because it translates in, beyond the Ryder Cup.
Well, the sad part for you in terms of your love of Graham McDowell, you're not going to see him much because he is splitting his time currently between the PGA Tour and the Tournament of Champions. He's that old.
Is he really? Mm-hmm. So he's essentially got Steve Stricker status.
Yeah.
How about that for alliteration?
Yeah, he's going back and forth. All right. For those of you that say, good Christ, man, thanks for the last 20 minutes on golf on a Friday. What do you want from us, man? Golf is relaxing, and it's returning. And there's not much in the way of real sports being played right now in a current time, real time. So I gave you 20 at the end.
Give me Graham McDowell. Give me Sung Kang. Give me Brooks Koepka. That's my squad. You can draft any other 3.
You know where Graham McDowell played his college golf, Tom?
In the Big Ten?
No. UAB.
Really?
Mm-hmm. UAB.
He rocks the purple so well, I figured he went to Northwestern.
Yeah, I would not have guessed he came over from Northern Ireland, Port Rush, in fact, as we recall. And then...
quite the change in climate.
Yeah, and then went to UAB. Yeah. He must have been like, what the hell kind of garbage place is this?
It's a good city, though. You taught me that.
No, it is. It's a great city. Good work out of you. Good work, Matthew. Be well, everybody. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to talking to you on Monday. Be safe.